Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Mossberg. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
Mossberg goes above and beyond for our Gold Star hunt. They donate guns to all the kiddos out here. So, great organization.
Come by and
Check
see them at Turkey. They'll be at Turkey this weekend with me and Andy.
That's right.
With us today from the dairy capital of North Texas.
Flathead. Is that what Clay Reed called me?
Flathead.
I think
Flathead.
Squareheads, I think.
Squarehead.
Tit twitching Texas is what I called it. Get your arm, your hand busted off.
In
shaking
more
hands
ways
down
than
there.
one,
Yep.
right?
Mr. Chad Steinberger. Now, you're in the dairy business, right?
Yes, sir. I've been lifer pretty
Lifer.
much. Yep.
How often do you actually have to milk a cow now?
Not a lot. We've grown our dairy yourself. We've grown to we're pretty much around the clock.
Yeah.
My dairy itself, I guess, we're 3 generations. My dad is 86 years old, still involved with the dairy as much as driving around telling us what we do wrong. We appreciate that.
He's the expert.
Yeah. And then I have 4 sons, but one of them is at the dairy with me. Gage, who you met earlier this year, came out and went hunting. So we've got 3 generations with us, but we've grown. We're the largest dairy in Windthorst. We milk about 1,350 to 1,400 cows total.
Is it robotics?
No. We'll talk about that. Our dairy is, we milk 2 times a day. We bring them through the parlor. It takes about 9 hours. So it's 2 9-hour shifts, 8 to 9 hour shifts.
Golly.
And I've got excellent employees that have worked for me for many years that handle that, as far as the actual milking. The outside work, that's where we come and get involved in the bookkeeping and the paperwork and the computer work and everything. There's a ton to it.
Does the government overreach into all y'all shit like they do everybody else's?
Oh, God, don't get me started.
That's a yes. That's a yes.
You know, it's not terrible because typically what they're asking us to do, they have the right ideas. It's just the people that they get to put it together and put it in effect.
They don't understand the business.
They don't understand it. Now, I'll tell you, of course, this is way up the ladder, but our Secretary of Agriculture right now is a very intelligent lady. Brooke Rollins from Texas, born and raised, FFA girl, went to Texas A&M. She is very intelligent. Now, that doesn't affect me much, but it does affect agriculture and what's going on around the United States as far as policies and stuff like that. But state of Texas looks at us. We are much better than other states. I've got good friends that milk cows in New Mexico, and they just can't stand it. They can't stand it. They're right on the Texas border. They can look 2 miles across the road there to dairies, and the things that we do, they can't get away with in New Mexico. Texas does not look at large animal operations as negative. Texas looks at it as a positive. Now, they've got a lot of regulations that they want us to do. Well water, for one thing, our water on our property, we can dam it up, use it, build ponds, whatever we want to do. You guys are familiar with that.
Right.
We can dig water wells. We can use that water. You go to New Mexico, you got to have a permit to fart in New Mexico. It's crazy.
Democrat ran compared
yes,
to the conservatives in Texas.
Exactly. They have to have monitors on all their water wells. They have to keep track of every gallon of water they use over there, and they've got to report it to the state of New Mexico, and it's crazy. I think it's the Lujan family in New Mexico. That's who's been governor for years over there, and they just keep electing the family members down the line.
And that's all around Clovis, I'm assuming.
Clovis and down to Hobbs, New Mexico. There's a lot of dairy in that Portales, Clovis, Hobbs, in that little triangle area right there, pretty much in eastern and southeastern New Mexico.
How much would it cost for them to pack up and go? Pack up and go to Texas?
So that's happening. Texas is growing in production as far as milk production. Texas is still continuing to grow. New Mexico is declining probably faster than any state in the United States. And it's probably more. New Mexico is all large dairies. There's no small dairies. I consider myself still a small dairy. We'll talk about that. But New Mexico, most of those dairies out there are 2,000 to 5,000 to 10,000 cows. Okay. A lot of them were started in the 80s, early 90s. Their facilities are kind of wore out.
Right.
They need to spend a lot of money to expand, to update. And next generation's like, Pops, I think I can make more money doing something else, and I don't want to come back.
Because I've already got to spend money to update everything, so I might as well start fresh.
So Dad's thinking, you know what, I think I'll just sell the cows, sell the place. I can sell it for a fortune and get out, and I'm fine. Next generation doesn't want to get involved. So that's a lot of the reason why New Mexico is losing producers like crazy. Now, Texas, like you said, we're conservative, we're pro-ag, we're pushing things. It's not a big deal to get permitted for a 10,000 cow dairy in the panhandle of Texas. Texas thinks 10,000 milk cows is not big because they've got 100,000 head feedlots in the panhandle of Texas. So it's not a big deal for a dairy to be built out there. Plus, you can build in the panhandle in New Mexico. You don't see anybody. You can be out in the middle of nowhere and build a dairy, and people will leave you the hell alone.
I drove past a lot of them going skiing.
Yeah.
Around Clovis and stuff between there.
Well, in West
Texas,
Texas.
Sudan, and just that whole area. There's that whole
Dalhart.
We didn't go to Dalhart. We did Lubbock,
Sudan,
Littlefield,
that
Sudan, that way.
You went to Purgatory, correct?
Yes, sir.
So Jeff, I heard you say you've never been to Durango.
I've been all over.
Crazy.
I've never been to Durango.
So one of my favorite vacation trips with my kids, and my oldest is 29 now, and my youngest is 21. But when they were your boys' age, Andy, I loved going to Silverton, Colorado. You can go to Durango, Silverton. The last time we went, we actually stayed. This was in summer. We stayed at the Purgatory Ski Resort.
Oh yeah.
And you can go fishing in Durango. You can go kayaking in Durango. But the highlight of the vacation was go to Silverton. You can rent that Jeep for 24 hours, and you load up a cooler of sandwiches and drinks, and you take the trails over the Continental Divide. And when I say trails, most of them are one vehicle wide. When you see another one coming, you got to plan for it.
Michelle's not going to like this because I'm already going to be getting on the internet.
You go, Engineered Pass, you go over that, you go to Lake City, Colorado, have ice cream, and then you take another trail right back to Silverton, Colorado. That Waray is up there too. They got the same kind of things over there. It's awesome.
I've never been. We were going to go to Telluride this year. We went to Yellowstone again. And we were going to go to Telluride, and we were going to fly into Durango and then just stay in that area. That little area, and I haven't been to the Pueblos, and I want to see that too. That's one of the places. There's not a lot of places in the U.S. I hadn't been to, but that's one little area that I drove through from, what's the place called where all the bunny huggers and the Red Rock in Utah. God dang, I just come back there this year. They got the big arches and stuff. I can't think of the name. Moab. From Moab down that way. But I would like to go to that area and try that.
I love my kids, and my kids love that Jeep ride over. Now, it's a 2-brawl trip, my wife says, because it's pretty rough. you gotta be hanging on. But it's cool. I mean, you're just up there on top of the mountains, and there's more traffic than there used to be because they kind of started allowing those Rangers and Polaris, Can-Ams and stuff like that over there. But that's cool too. But we like the 4-door Jeep that you rent because they charge you about $700 for that day.
Yeah.
But you don't have to haul your own.
I would like to do that. I would awesome. Enjoy that because I like stuff like that. When we were in Smuggler's Gulch or something, I think it was Smuggler's Gulch we were at this year up in Vermont this summer. They had a trail that you got over the top, and I was the only one wanting to go. It's like, I don't know. I was like, bullshit, that's what you want to see some shit.
So it's funny that you mentioned Vermont because my wife Stacy and I, that was the vacation that we just took for our 30th wedding anniversary. We flew into Burlington, Vermont, like you mentioned there, and we rented a pickup. This was in October because we wanted to see the leaf change. Yeah, it was cool. Drove over to Stowe. We stayed there a couple of days, and then we took the scenic route down and went to Boston. And we ended up in Portland, Maine. I mean, it was just an awesome trip and perfect time of year. We had a really good. It's just Stacy and I. We had a great time.
We usually go up there every fall. This year we went to Yellowstone instead of that place, but we do the same trip. Did you go to Woodstock, Vermont?
We went through Woodstock's
Vermont. One of the coolest towns I've ever been to in my life.
Got out and walked around, did all that stuff there, and I mean, it's just like a little tourist town.
Did the leaves were they
perfect? It was October the 10th, 12th. I think it was 8th through 12th when we were there.
That's the prettiest place. I tell people all the time, you could take a postcard, does not do justice to how beautiful it is there. You really can't believe how pretty it is.
There are a lot of liberals up there.
One of my favorite thing, I found was so funny is we was at Stowe, and they have a sign at their church that says Black Transgender Lives Matter. I got home and did the math. There's 52 of them in the whole world, but they matter in Stowe, Vermont.
But damn it, Jeff, they matter.
Yeah, I thought, what a fucking crock of shit that is.
But yeah, we took the gondola up top of the mountain and Stowe.
Yeah, it's
beautiful. And it's snowflakes. It was just a little bit of snow falling down that morning. But
it's a beautiful place. Did you like Boston?
So we didn't really do much in Boston. My wife wanted to go to Salem and see all the witch crap. I didn't care for all that. I like to go where there's not people.
Well, that's not Salem
It
in
is
October.
not Salem.
Not in October, for sure.
It was so crowded. But Stowe, yes. I mean, Stowe was kind of out in the country. There was a lot of people there, don't get me wrong, but it was country roads. It felt like you were out in the country.
Vermont. I love all New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, the back roads.
Yeah.
I love the hell out of that shit. Salem, I've been to Salem so many times, I don't care if I ever go there again.
I'm fine.
But it's crowded. But we went the COVID year. And let me tell you something, there was nobody there.
That's probably the time to go.
And all Michelle did was, golly, there's nobody here. It's not like, I want to see all this stuff. So then we went back like 2 years later in October. Shit, it's like being at Disney World. It was the elbows to assholes everywhere you go.
So I want to go back. There's a direct flight there from Portland, Maine, back to DFW, but we want to go back and fly to Portland, then go north and end up in like Prince Edward Island, up in
That's
over
beautiful.
there, Nova Scotia.
We stayed this summer in Brunswick, Maine, I believe. There was 3 couples. Our superintendent and his wife, then Coach Steele and his wife went with us, and we went and we stayed at a house in Brunswick, but we went all the way up to Bar Harbor and stuff. And
Yeah, that's where I want to go.
I love that area up there. And you know what's crazy is when you get Portland, Maine is fixing to be the next Minneapolis with all that fraud. They're fixing to uncover. They got a bunch of those problems there in Lewiston.
They do.
But when you get outside of those cities, there's no different in being in Windthorst, Texas,
You're
than being in
exactly
them small
right.
towns.
I hear that a lot. I think if people get out away from the hustle and bustle of big cities, people are all the same. You can talk to people. We may have difference of opinions, but we're all the same.
Pretty damn close. Boston is I'm probably going to upset somebody here, but Boston's a very
First
liberal
time ever,
town.
right?
Oh yeah, no shit, every day. But Boston is the most racist city I've ever been to in America.
Really?
Would you say that's probably pretty true, Andy?
Yeah.
It's very Catholic, Irish, Italian.
Don't be calling Catholics.
No. I'm just saying.
You got one in the room.
Right, but you get those enclaves, those neighborhoods. That's all that is.
Oh yeah.
But what's funny, when they vote, they're always voting blue, and I think, "Well, some bitch, you sound worse than anybody in West Texas ever did when you listen to them." But you go everywhere, and it's white people or Italians or it's just.
But they don't like anybody that's outside of their ethnicity. Like Irish hate Italian, Italian hate the Irish, and then blacks, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, they like their group of people.
See, like I said, I'd rather go where there's not people. I've never been to New York City. My wife's been a couple times. She just got back this summer from a trip up there.
I used to like New York.
Why? There's just so many people. I don't care to go there. Take me to Wyoming or something. I'd rather.
There's a lot of cool things to see there, and there's a lot of things you see on TV. I'll tell you, the coolest place in America to go, the most beautiful part of North America, is the Thousand Islands in New York State. Upstate New York on the St. Lawrence River is absolutely beautiful. Now, Andy, you've traveled. Would you say it's one of the top 3 prettiest places you've been?
If I hit the Powerball, that's where I'm going. You'll never see me again. You'll see me in the wintertime probably, because I don't think I can handle 25 feet of snow. But if I were to win the Powerball, I would go to the Thousand Islands in New York, and that's where I would spend spring, summer, fall.
So
and then
that's
I'd come
not
down
a crowded area, though, right?
No.
I mean, that's kind of, you're getting out into the country, because I hear there's some real beautiful parts of New York.
Oh, upstate New York's beautiful, but it's north of Lake Placid a couple hours. It's north of Syracuse an hour. And there's some people there. Alexandria Bay's got some people there, but it's rolling hills and beautiful land, and the water the St. Lawrence River is as pretty a water as anywhere I've ever been in my entire life. It was absolutely beautiful, but this area, they call it Thousand Islands. There's islands everywhere, but every island has got a big home on it, like a home that you would see. That was, every town in Texas has got that house. It's the funeral director's house. That's a 6,000 square foot. Or like downtown Wichita Falls, them old houses, they're slums now that used to be beautiful homes. Their houses are like that everywhere on that place. It's just and there'll be an island that's not much bigger than this building, have a house on it, and then the next house. But they call it Millionaires Row. But they built all of that before the Depression.
Can they drive to them? Or
No. It's like this is it right here. So like each individual island. I'll see if I can blow it up.
That's pretty cool.
I can't. But oh, son of a bitch. Why does it make everything difficult? So this, it's just all tiny islands, and they've all got these immaculate houses on it. I mean, it's a gorgeous place. They've got Bolt Castle is up there. That was one of the. So this guy, what was his story? He was somewhere in the Waldorf Astoria.
He was the general manager of the Waldorf Astoria, and his family lived up in that valley there. and farmed and owned a big bunch of stuff. Well, his wife, he married a wife. He was a very wealthy man, farmer there. You know how them farmers are.
Yeah.
And he built his wife this castle called Boat Castle. She died unexpectedly in her early 40s. He never went to it. So it's set unfinished. This house was so grand that Tesla built a power plant, was building a power plant on it because the wealthy people back then, they had their own power plants in their backyards or generators, like on Fifth Avenue and all that stuff in New York. And he hired him, and he was building was going to build a power plant on it and stuff. Well, when his wife died, they just quit doing it. They had all the stuff, the marble from Italy and all that stuff, and it set for like 40 or 50 years. His family gave it to the Thousand Island Bridge Authority. And they spent another $15 million updating it. We took a tour of it.
It's a tourist area?
It's beautiful. Wow. Absolutely a beautiful. But there's not a ton of people there. I mean, it's not like Mackinac Island is a beautiful place, but it's elbows and assholes.
So your goal is to have an island up there?
Oh, I would love that.
Stanfield Island?
That would
no, I would. If I won a big lottery, I would have me a house up there. But it just, the amount of money to own something up there. But it's a beautiful place. I mean, a beautiful place.
Hopefully you'll never make the news like some other islands.
Yeah, right. I was telling my wife when we were coming back from Durango, like, you know how disheartening it would be? You're in the 1800s, you're on a horse and buggy or horse-drawn wagon, and you get over one mountain range just to see 7 others. You're like, son of a bitch, are we ever going to make it? Kids have dysentery and, you know.
That Donner, I watched a documentary on the Donners the other day, and that's a hell of a story, you know, around Lake Tahoe and stuff, and just some bad breaks got them where they were, but also some stupidity.
Yes.
But that was just a different world back then.
It was, and I watched the, what was it, 1836?
That's a great
spin-off.
That's my favorite one of those.
I mean, there's some tough son of guns.
With the wolves and stuff?
I don't know how they did it, but if you think the world's running out of land, go to New Mexico. There's plenty of it out there. You know, it's ugly.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh, Andy trashes New Mexico all the time.
It's a shithole.
Have you been to Albuquerque? It's just the nastiest.
He was just there.
Nastiest place.
It's awful. There's nothing good about
Albuquerque, when you get north of Albuquerque, when you hit the reservations, it really gets nasty.
I got asked. We went through Albuquerque a few years ago, and I'm a big Breaking Bad fan. And we toured. We didn't tour, but we went and visited the car wash and the house and all that stuff. And I thought it's pretty cool. Well, I got asked to go back a year and a half ago to judge the State Fair out there, the dairy show at the State Fair. And okay, that'd be pretty cool. They flew me in there, and that's the first time I really got to go into downtown Albuquerque where they put me. That is the nasty. I felt unsafe as hell. Mm-hmm. And they put us in this old hotel. And I got there, and I'm like, why did they put us here? And this other guy was on the shuttle with me. He goes, oh, they've been putting judges up at this hotel forever and ever. I'm like, oh, crap. So we get there, and no restaurant at the hotel, no bar, no nothing. It's old. But you could tell, kind of like the old Holiday Inns, you could tell at one time it was a big, bustling hotel.
The talk of town.
Yeah, and I get there about 6 p.m., maybe 7, and I asked the guy at the front desk, I said, where can I eat? He said, well, we don't have anything. He said, there's a little shithole out the door there, but I wouldn't recommend it. And he said, if you go anywhere, you definitely want an Uber. He said, there's a convenience store across the street. And I thought, he said, but don't go after dark. And I'm like, where did they put me up, you know? But it's a nasty town. Nasty town.
And then if you go to Santa Fe, it's all upbeat and Hollywood. Compared to
Riados is pretty cool.
I've never been to Riados in my life.
I mean, it's a neat town. It's clean and pretty, but I've heard it went to shit with all the floods. So I don't know.
They're not even having horse racing there this year.
That's crazy. And they got the big casino and that kind of stuff.
But without a horse track, that's going to hurt all that stuff.
Yeah.
We stayed at the Marriott in Albuquerque. Shit, I bet it was George Bush was either in office or he'd just gotten out. I think he was in office still, so that's how long ago it was. No, the second one.
Second Bush.
George Jr. And we stayed at the Marriott, and they were having a Republican fundraiser. So I'm assuming Bush was running for office the second time. And we're staying at the Marriott, and I hear a noise. And this rope goes down by my window of my hotel. And when I got there, there was a bunch of cops at the front of the door at the entrance of this place.
Was George staying there?
And so Tony calls me. He goes, Jeff, some guy just come by my window with a fucking machine gun or something, some guy off the roof. I go, there's a rope out mine too. And I thought it was a window cleaner at night is what I was. So I called the front desk. I said, hey, is something going on we didn't know about?
Window cleaner at night.
I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on. And she's like, oh, we've got, there's some people here for the presidential, they're having a meeting here tomorrow, and there's just some security people here. Well, we stayed, a friend of mine was a big shot with Embassy Suites. So we got rooms. We always got big suites, and we stayed on the top floors of the nicest hotels everywhere we would go.
Stanfield money.
Yeah, that's lots of that. But when we got there, they would say you have a private. They have a private area, like everybody on the 9th and 10th floor. Something had a breakfast area. You didn't have to go down where everybody else was
with the common folk.
So we got to eat this exclusive breakfast. Well, that day they told us, well, you have to go down to the first floor to have breakfast today. You couldn't do it. Well, the Bushes were there. And when we went down the elevator, Nancy Reagan was there, and then somebody else from the Colin Powell?
Yeah.
Yep.
He was in front of me, and he got in they pulled up in this white van, unmarked. He was gone. It was the weirdest shit ever. But you looked on all the buildings and shit, and there was fucking guys with sniper rifles and shit around this shit. It was a crazy deal. But that was in Albuquerque. But yeah, Albuquerque is a shithole and a half. But you go to Santa Fe and it's nice. But you get up north of them reservations. I told Andy when they drove to Farmington going that way, I said, this shit's terrible. There ain't nothing shittier than the Indian reservation.
Some places get a bad rap. You know, even California. I heard you guys talking on an earlier podcast. I don't know, California. I had to go to California this summer for a co-op meeting. We flew into Fresno, and Fresno's kind of a nasty town, but the people there, just cool, down-to-earth people. And we rented a car, and we drove over to Monterey and down to Big Sur.
Well, it's beautiful.
Unbelievable. I couldn't imagine how
pretty places
beautiful it was right there. And the row cropping and the migrant workers and stuff, I had no clue what they're picking. They're out there picking crops. You couldn't tell what it was because there's so many things.
Did you like to drive around and just see the farms?
Yes.
Oh, me
yes.
too.
So
I love that kind of stuff.
And we rented a 4-door diesel pickup, you know, and it was kind of odd. But that Monterey is beautiful. Whatever the golf course is right there.
Pebble Beach
on the coast. We drove
Carmel.
through that. It just beautiful. And drove down to Big Sur, but the highway was closed going through to L.A., so we had to turn around and come back up. And ended up at San Francisco, and we went out to Alcatraz and toured. That's pretty cool.
I wish I'd have had a chance to. I got scared in San Francisco. I've been scared 2 times in my life traveling. Los Angeles at La Brea Tar Pits at Wilshire Boulevard, and in San Francisco. I got really nervous, and a lady told me we were eating at Mel's Diner, pulled right up the front, and they got them signs everywhere. They'll break into your car. They'll steal your shit. The lady tells me, oh, you can bring all your luggage and just put it in your booth. You've never traveled with Michelle. There ain't enough room here. And I was like, is it that bad? Oh, they'll just take a tire tool and they'll break your windows out and steal all your shit.
We were told the same thing.
And so I was like, fuck that, let's go. And we left. And then the lady tells me, she goes, please, sir, whatever you do not stop in Oakland. It's really dangerous. Shit, how much worse can it be?
Yeah.
When they say it's bad. But I like Northern California. We went to the Redwood Forest. Have you been there?
No, I have not. But I would. I would like to take that West Coast Highway up. You know, I guess fly into San Francisco because I've done the south of there a little bit. But I would like to do the whole West Coast Highway.
We went all the way to Brookings, Oregon.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful place. And you know, that's another place too. You get in Northern California, there's more rednecks there than there are in Alabama.
Yeah, they're outnumbered.
Big time.
They're outnumbered.
Same as New York. When you go to upstate New York, those people will tell you, because I asked a guy one time, I go, how the hell do y'all keep voting blue? You know, you see Trump shit everywhere. He goes, we'd have to vote, 98% of the people down here would all have to vote red to switch it over to overdo the 3 counties and the boroughs in New York.
Minnesota's the same way. There's some good people out in the country. Good people. That's a big dairy state. I have a lot of friends up there that milk cows, but it doesn't matter what they do or how they vote. Whatever Minneapolis does, that's how it's going.
Mm-hmm. That state it's
in trouble.
Is really close to flipping red. I think that
I don't think so.
You don't?
No, I don't know.
They have.
That's a big city. That's a big part of the population in Minneapolis.
She won by 114,000 votes. They have a rule in Minnesota that if you vouch for someone, you can vouch for 8 of your friends and they can vote. They had 540,000 people sign up to vote on election day. 540,000.
Repeat that. If you can vouch.
If a Somalian goes in, Akbak Muhammad or whatever the fuck his name is, goes in there and he goes, I'm an American citizen. He shows him his ID and his voter ID. Now, these are my friends. They live with me. They're all
they
American
can register
citizens.
that day.
Each guy can vouch for 8 people. This ain't a bullshit deal, some true thing. If 540,000 people on election day signed up, how many you think them 540,000 voted blue?
I'm going to bet all of them did. I'm going to bet none of them should have been able to vote.
114,000 votes different. Give you another flip side to that.
And she's probably worth millions now.
Yep. Another flip side to that. When Al Franken was the senator in Minnesota,
Good old Al Franken.
he won by 118 votes. 118 votes. The independent there had 400,000 votes.
Would have shifted the whole election.
We wouldn't have had Obamacare ever. He was the deciding vote for Obamacare.
It's a crazy world. Oh, Tim up there, he's in trouble
That
too.
guy's a dipshit and a half.
How would you like to have that nickname?
Yeah. You know, Tampon Timmy, I don't know.
You do one thing.
I have a lot of folks that listen to this in Minnesota, and I get stuff from them all the time, and they do not. Everybody I know, nobody. It's all that fraud on the inner city that votes for that shit, and then the stupid ass white liberal. There ain't nothing dumber. Y'all even have a liberal in Windthorst?
I bet I could count them on one hand.
That's the same.
And they usually married into town or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Knox City, we got 3 people, and they put the signs in their yard. One of them asked me one time. He's like, it was back when I was a judge or mayor. I probably was both. He goes, I'm really concerned about my safety. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, I've heard that if we don't vote for Trump, that people are going to do something to us. I go, there ain't nobody going to do. I said, I tell you what. I said, you've got my cell phone. If you get scared, you call me and I'll come over there. I say, ain't nothing going to happen. I said, first of all, there's only 6 of you dumb bastards in town, anyways, and we all know who you are. Ain't nobody going to jack with you.
No, and the redneck Republican's going to be the first one to step up and help him when something goes wrong.
That's exactly right. I told him
He's
that
got
too.
it ass backwards.
Yeah, I told him. I said, if the shit hits the fan, you'll be damn glad you live around a bunch of us because we're the ones that's going to help you. Mm-hmm. So you've lived in Windthorst your whole life.
Pretty much.
I've spent a lot of days of my youth in Windthorst, Texas.
I was going to ask you, did you go to the dances back in the day?
I went to a few dances. We were dumbasses when we were younger. And we would leave Wichita Falls and drive to Windthorst, which is it 30 miles maybe?
30 miles, 25, 30.
Drive down there. And on the way home from the dances, back in the days of the Coors Light days, when you were young, and if you drank Coors Light, they just made you pour it out. Except for y'all had a DPS guy named Stevens down there. Was a hard ass.
Yep.
Some of my friends, and I never did this.
Kenneth Stevens.
Yep, that was his name.
He was Marcher City.
Yes, and boy, he was a hard ass.
Yep.
They used to hood surf. You take 3 pickups, and you put them back to back going 55, 60 miles an hour.
See, I don't recall this now.
Well, no, because you lived in Windthorst. You weren't doing this, but the kids from Wichita. And then you'd get out, you'd crawl out the back window, the sliding window, and then you'd walk out back, and you'd stand on the other car's hood, and you'd do this shit.
Dumb.
Stupid as shit. Looking back now, why anybody?
Hey, your grandkids are listening.
Yeah. Oh, I kicked them in the ass for doing that shit. But that's why when kids do stupid stuff, kids are stupid nowadays. Well, it ain't a nowadays deal.
So I'm 53. They shut the dances down when I was 16. I can barely remember, just old enough to drive and go out, driving by, and they had the dances there. I wasn't old enough to go in. They shut them down. They just got a little out of hand. And then when I don't know if you remember the one dude that climbed the electric pole there. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, so I don't know the whole story, but it did happen right there at the Ed's Cafe parking lot in downtown Windthorst. Young man from Wichita Falls was bragging how he could climb that Highline pole, climb to the top, and
fried his ass
right there in the middle of town.
No, but there was a lot of accidents that did happen coming home and stuff, and kids happened. I mean, it was a dangerous place. But
you're right about poured out days. Now that was my days too.
Yep.
We very seldom got hauled to jail. Nobody got hauled to jail. Pour that shit out, go home, or pour that shit out. I'm calling your parents to come get you.
Which one have you used the most sober? You fucking drive everybody home.
Yeah, which one of you hadn't been? Me, sir.
Yeah. Well, you make sure that everybody gets home.
Yeah.
In Wichita, we cruise Kemp Street. That's where we went.
Oh, yeah.
We cruise up and down Kemp Street. Well, after a couple of times having to pour our beer out, instead of logically thinking and saying, maybe we shouldn't be doing this shit, it's like, you know what we'll do? We'll hide a cooler of beer, and we'll just have one beer. So if we get pulled over, we just got to pour one beer out instead of pouring our beer out.
Yeah, back those days, we had LCB or TABC or whatever. Do they still have that? Is that?
I'm sure they do, but they're not riding around in the blue car with the white cowboy hats.
It's kind of an unmarked car. They'd pull you like, who the hell is that? They pull you. Now they would give you a ticket.
Oh, and that was what their whole job was.
Yeah, I did. I had one of my handful of minor possessions was Wichita Falls, right in front of the state hospital. TABC pulled me over, and me and a buddy.
That's a weird place to be pulling them over.
We left Kemp, and we're heading south. And that old boy pulled us over, and we poured all our beer out. Now, he did let us go home. We didn't go to jail.
Oh, I never took him. I never knew him. I was with a bunch of my buddies that got those tickets.
Yeah.
And I was always lucky enough that the closest I ever got, I saw them see us, and we were at Hamilton Brown parking lot, and I threw my beer, and it rolled under 3 cars. And he come up, and he goes, "You drink that nasty beer?" I said, "Oh, no, sir, I don't touch that stuff, And then he goes, "I know your dad. Your dad's a drinker." Well, yeah, Dad is a drinker.
We used to have what they call shack parties in Windthorst. Now, that was probably between me and you. With some parents, when they shut the dances down out there, some parents, they had a little old, it was like a well house type shack, and that's what we called shack parties. We'd build a big bonfire. We all met out there.
Ours were barn parties, is what we called them. Same thing, though.
Weren't in any troubles. The parents were fine with it. Y'all go out there, stay out there, do your drinking, come home, you're good. Now, they would get out of hand at times and have part. But there was one night, and it was funny. It was before cell phones, social media, and all that shit. But word just got around, all during the week. Hey, Saturday night, shack party, blah, 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 blah. We're all going to head out there after church. That's the big thing in Windthorst. We have Saturday night church. We'd all go to church on Saturday night because we were hung over on Sunday. We didn't want to go Sunday morning. And we were all, in one time in particular, I can tell me and Mike Zutz were headed out there, and there was a ton of us in line. We're headed out to the shack party. We're going to have a big one, And we get out there, and the dirt road, and we're like, why the hell aren't they going in the gate? We're all sitting there in line in our vehicles, and I drove an old 86 Monte Carlo hand-me-down from my sister, and I'm sitting there, me and Mike, we're like, why the hell aren't they going in the gate? What's going on? Well, all of a sudden, we see these 2 guys walking down car to car with their cowboy hats on. We're like, oh, shit, what happened here? TABC got word of the Windthorst kids having these shack parties, and they were going to shut it down, And they were going car to car, and they would get our license. Give me your license. And they'd go to the next car, and I'll never forget Mike Zutz said, here, we got to do something with this beer. They're going to see this beer. Well, we just slid it under the fence into the pasture. It's dark. We slid it under the fence into the pasture there. We never got a ticket for a damn thing, But I can remember one of the parents that owned the land came out there and chewed their ass out. These kids are not doing anything wrong. Well, we were.
Right.
But their point was these kids are going to a particular spot to party. They're going to stay out of trouble. They're not going to Wichita Falls. They're not up and down the highway. They're doing their thing, and they're going to get home. So both sides were kind of right there.
Didn't they have a bad accident where some girls got killed, or somebody got killed in a bonfire, ran over somebody, knocked them into a bonfire or something?
Yeah.
And that was kind of the end of that deal, wasn't it?
Well, that wasn't at shack parties. That was in the early 90s. I remember that. I was on the volunteer fire department when that happened. That was a bad deal.
Yeah.
That was a really bad deal.
I'll tell you a funny-ass story about Windthorst, Texas. Now, this was from when I was a kid. We hunted. I grew up, Paul Smith had a dairy right by the lake.
Yeah.
And I grew up duck hunting there. We shot a ton of ducks.
Paul and Sis.
Yep.
Paul had the dairy. Sis did all the work at the dairy.
That's probably true. My dad and
Good
Paul,
woman, still alive.
My dad and Paul become friends, and we hunted there. And we duck hunted there for years. From 1980 to 86, I hunted there all the time, probably about 78 to 86. And so Dad got to be good friends with Paul, and we would go down there all the time. But they were having problems with coyotes.
Yep.
Were eating the calves. So they have a big family meeting. My dad used to tell a story. It was great. And the lady name was Tony DeStefano, and she used to be the head of the SPCA Humane Society or whatever the hell it is. That sad-ass commercial in Wichita. And so she went down there, and they had a town hall meeting right there and talking about the coyotes and all the problems. And she goes, well, have y'all thought about maybe we could trap these animals and we could neuter these coyotes? And some old farmer in Windthorst said, ma'am, I don't think you understand. She goes, what do you mean? He goes, they're not fucking the cows. They're killing them. They're eating them.
That's funny. Now, so my wife's family was real good friends with Paul and Sis Smith. My father-in-law and mother-in-law, they were best friends with Paul and Sis. That's pretty cool.
Now, my dad knew a Steinberger real well. From my dad used to play music at this place called Dale's Blue Lounge in Wichita Falls. It was like the Little Brother stuff, and that's what brought my dad to Wichita Falls.
Probably talking about my Uncle Pete.
Pete,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
And so I was there. I've been to their house many times. Is his wife still alive?
No, she passed away probably 20 years ago.
Now, she was a spunky lady.
I'm going to tell you, it's the hardest working woman I've ever met.
She was. And boy, she would speak her mind. And her and my dad and him got along. My dad was was his name Gerald too?
Yes.
Yeah. My dad was good friends with them, and I think Gerald drank a lot of beer with my dad. Was he a drinker?
He drank a lot of beer.
Yeah, him and Dad drank a lot of beer together.
Only guy I ever known to get 2 DWIs in the same night. That's what I was told. That's what I was told.
Well, Dad was good friends with them. So we were hunting. We were dove hunting one year with a bunch of firemen from Wichita Falls, and we were hunting north. I think someone one of the Steinberger kids built a really nice big house like west of Windthorst somewhere.
Yep. That's his son.
Okay, we was hunting by their house somewhere, and we were shooting, and there was a bunch of firemen lined up, and I was probably the only kid that was there, and I was probably 12 at the time, and I'm shooting a single shot 12 gauge that I'd gotten for Christmas with probably freaking I don't know what size shells.
There's a reason you give kids a single shot.
Yes. This kid from Windthorst, his parents had the place next to it, or he was hunting there, and he walks in this mesquite tree, and he comes down in front of everybody, and I shoot at this dove and stuff, and this kid comes pouring out of this damn tree.
Peppered the shit out of him.
He's bleeding. His blood coming off of him. I shot the shit out of him, but nobody knew he was there. And there was a fireman next to me, and I know his name, I'm not going to say because he's still alive, and he's like, God damn, I think you shot that boy, little pop. And I was like, I don't know what happened. I said, shit.
Wasn't me.
So then the sheriff showed up. So shit, I went back by my dad. My dad was sitting back there, and I'm sitting by my dad, and it's a bunch of drunk firemen shooting dove and drinking beer.
That's just it. Everybody was loaded back in those days.
And his dad's raising hell, the sheriff, and he's coming in there, and they leave. So when we get done, we go by Pete's house.
Gerald.
We go by their house to talk to him and stuff. And Dad's telling Miss Steinberger, I can't remember her name, about it. Connie. Yep. He's telling Connie, Connie, some kid got shot, blah, blah, blah. She goes, which one is it? And Dad's trying to say something. She goes, oh, that poor little fucker. She didn't say fucker. She goes, that poor little kid, he's got the worst luck. He was taking baling wire and playing in a barn with it, and it hit his eye, and he pulled his eye out with his baling wire.
That might have been little Willie. Yep. That might have been Willie off.
And that was back in the day, but I shot that guy.
With one eye.
With one eye. She goes, that poor son of a bitch had been shot, and they pulled his eyeball out. I pulled his eyeball out earlier.
You're talking about that shooting can happen a lot, especially on dove, but it happens a whole lot on pheasant. So my dad had 2 brothers, Gerald and Uncle David, and Gerald they all liked to drink. They all drink a lot. But my Uncle David was kind of the shit starter. He was always, but anyway, he was a hard ass and cussed like a sailor. And anyway, when I was in high school, we would go pheasant hunting in the Panhandle near Bovina, and it was always my dad and me or my brother, and then David and a couple of his boys and a bunch of other people. We did business with the harvest crew out there. And I'll never forget, my Uncle David wore this old brown coat, like a sport coat, but he wore it all the time, when he went somewhere. And he was a big old boy. Of course, guess who did the blocking and guess who did the walking? Uncle David was always going to be the blocker. Yes, he's going to stand at the end. And I'll never forget, we're walking down there and we're looking and we could see those birds. They're running down the rows there, and we're getting ready. And that bird comes up, and it's kind of like your intro here. Boom, 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 boom. And I can hear my Uncle David. I can still hear it today. My Uncle David, and he goes to squealing. And we're like, holy shit.
Somebody shot his ass.
Yeah. And we're hell when you're blocked, that's what happens when you block, And we get up there, and he's cussing. I mean, cussing. Which one of you, son of a... And I'll never forget, everybody there said, I didn't shoot. I didn't shoot. But we peppered him, and where that sport coat came to a V, and he had peppers in a V right down his chest. Oh, man, he was digging them out and popping BBs out. Oh, man.
I got to piss.
Oh, shit. I have, one thing we would always do, we would make it rain on ourselves. We'd basically pepper ourselves.
Oh, dude, yeah, we were
shoot
kids.
Straight up in the air and just kind of go like this, and
especially when the dove weren't flying. That's just kind of what you do.
You got nothing else to do. But I can vividly remember dove hunting on like stock tanks or whatever, and then being out there, it felt like all day, and you're like, what the hell are we gonna do to pass the time? Well, I got it. Let's just shoot straight up in the air, and then the pellets can rain down on us. Just don't look up. Yeah, my cousin talked me into a lot of dumb ideas.
Yeah, we used to do that as kids too. We'd be out there waiting, the dove weren't flying, and we'd say, I think he's far enough away, and we'll pepper him. Sorry, didn't even see the bird. I missed. Yeah. But
and now I got an 11-year-old, and like if he does that shit, it's like, kid, what the hell are we doing?
We're going to put an eye out.
You're going to put an eye out. That's exactly right. Or something bad's going to happen. I just look back and, my generation is relatively tame to like, you hear Jeff's stories and your stories about drinking and driving. Like number one, the laws had started to change whenever I was that age. So it was harder to get beer. And if you got beer, the consequences were graver. And like, I just couldn't imagine getting an MIP and then having to go tell coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got an MIP.
But it was just common back in those days. And I think about it a lot. If we'd have taken sports a little more serious back in the 80s, but every weekend we all drank beer. And it wasn't just Windthorst. It was every town.
Yeah, it was everybody.
Every kid.
We
played football all week, played football Friday night. After the game, we went and got beer.
Yeah. That was like the kids that were seniors when I was a freshman, like I think it ended with them. Just kind of that raucous mentality of we'll play Friday night, and then as soon as that whistle blows for the last time, like we're going to go.
So what year did you graduate high school?
06.
So I can remember in the early 90s, and you mentioned it, Jeff, about that time we had a couple kids lose their lives there, and I can remember they had a little get together up at the parish hall there, and I can remember a young kid saying, we don't need to lose any more kids, and I guess it got serious. I don't know if kids weren't smart enough to take care of themselves, or if just losing, it just happened more, but I think that's what shut it down in Windthorst. And now, man, it seems like ever since then, it's funny. I'm not saying the kids don't drink.
Yeah.
They drink, but I think they take their sports a little more serious in Windthorst than we used to back then.
I think the drinking, when I was in high school, I went to a big school and we had 1,800 kids in high school. And we would lose a kid every year. It's an accident.
Yeah.
And the kids at Ryder would do the same thing. I mean, you would have 2 or 3 kids and prom time and stuff. And it's a bad deal. It's a horrible thing. And I think that society got where they started cracking down on that stuff a lot of difference. Like back in the day, a cop would make you pour it out. A city cop would be most of the time. And you really had to fuck up to get a DWI back then. And I think
not anymore.
No, not now at all. But back then you did. And I think back then you had to blow like 1.2 even. Yeah, and now it's 0.08. But it just society's taking it as different. And now there's no excuse to do DWI with Uber and all that other shit.
You're right, and I'll tell you, it sucks. Kids are going to get a DWI, and they're going to make mistakes. And you just hope they can overcome it. And
don't ruin your life.
Yeah, and I got our sheriff over at Archer County now. I got to hand it to him.
He's a Knox City kid.
Is he really? Mm-hmm. He's made a full effort not to just hang a kid for first offense. You know what I mean? Yeah, they might get a DWI, but let's say be an angel for a year or two, and we'll drop it. That kind of thing. Of course, that's the judge more than the.
You don't need to ruin lives. I used to say it all the time. I had 2 20-year-old kids got a MIP one time. They're in the military. They were on leave. I dropped the ticket.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't giving them. I dropped. They're serving our country. They weren't driving. They were in a vehicle. They're 20 years old. One of them was going to be 21 like 5 days. They're fighting for our country.
Yeah.
Don't give them a damn ticket for that shit. That was me, and I dropped the damn thing. I didn't like it. I want to go back to the dairy because I got a couple questions. So I was going through Rochester, Minnesota, 7, 8, 9 years ago. Biggest dairy I've ever seen in my entire life. It was a mile long, I think, and I'm sure it wasn't, but it just seemed it was right on the interstate there. What is a big dairy? 20, 25,000 cows?
So in Texas, of course, you may be able to pull it up. I think the average dairy is about 2,500 cows. There is an operation in the Panhandle of Texas. I think on one location they may have 70,000.
Good Lord.
But I think total they milk a little over 200,000 in multiple locations between the West Texas and maybe in New Mexico and Arizona.
How much milk does one cow give on average? I know they're all different.
Did you know? There you go.
That is a did you know.
Take a wild guess. What the average cows in the state of Texas produces in one day?
I'm going to be way off. I'm going to say 8 gallons.
It's about 10. You're pretty close. Yeah, it's about so our cows in Windthorst, pretty much every dairy in Windthorst, their cows will average about 10 gallons of milk per day.
Now, why can't you drink raw milk?
Okay, so you can.
Okay.
They did for years.
Yeah,
I know
so
that.
I was raised on raw milk. We pretty everybody my age and older was raised on raw. You can. It's legal in the state of Texas.
It is.
You can buy it in Scotland, Texas.
Oh.
To me, here's my thought on raw milk. There's a reason we pasteurize milk, okay? For the general public, for those that want to buy it at the store, that's the way to do it, okay? Some people believe there's some benefits to drinking raw milk. I can't say yes or no, there's not. But if I personally am going to want raw milk, I want to know where I'm getting it. I want to know who I'm getting it from, and I want to know that they are inspected just as I am. We have inspectors that come by once a month, check the facility. Every load of milk that leaves my place has to be tested for any damn thing that you can think of, which is fine. I want it that way.
Right.
Because the worst thing that can happen is for something to go bad, and then we get a black eye. But there's a spot in Scotland, Texas there that's Jersey cows. I think he milks about 10, 15 cows. It sells raw milk. It's really good stuff now, really good. And I know him personally. I know how he is. I know his facility. I know his cows. I would buy his.
Yeah.
If I was ever going to buy it somewhere else, I would want to do a little investigation.
So what can you get from raw milk? Like what?
Salmonella, maybe listeria, some stuff like you probably get the shits for several days, and it'd be a hell of a way to lose some weight.
Better no Ozempic.
Yeah.
What was it? Was just like why
so
did
that's
we?
It. There's people. We've been pasteurizing milk forever. I mean, don't get me pasteurization.
1930s.
I should say that was invented years and years ago, back well before I was born. But there's a reason we pasteurize it, and it's to kill it. All it does is heat it up enough to kill all the shit, cool it back down, and it's good to go. The milk in Windthorst, 99% of the milk in Windthorst goes to sour cream, goes to Daisy sour cream.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They came in to Windthorst several years, 8 or 10 years ago, and they were making a push for some small town pasture based. Can we advertise where our dairy products come from? We'll give you a premium for your milk. We want to bring it all to our Daisy plant down here in the Metroplex, and they make sour cream out of it, and most of it ends up at Chipotle. So it's pretty cool.
So when you have...
Well, because Blake's garbanzo beans end up at Chipotle. We got to start eating at Chipotle, Jeff. You can have sour cream from Windthorst and Blake's garbanzo beans.
I changed my status on Chipotle whenever they started paying me a premium for my milk.
Of course you would.
But it's actually really good.
It's not a bad place to eat. I just don't ever think about going there. Yeah. So when a milk comes out of a cow, what's its temperature?
So it's about 90 degrees. It's pretty close to body temperature. You know what? Obviously, it's going to be close to the body temperature of the cow. Cow's body temperature is about a degree or two higher than a human. It's about 99 to 100 degrees. In the summer, a cow will get up to 101 just because of heat from outside.
So the milk comes out about
90 degrees, and it cannot leave the farm unless it's 36 degrees or below. So we're cooling it. Yep, we chill it. Mine goes through a plate chiller. So it'll hit the tank at about 40 degrees, and then my tank cools it on down to 35. All my milk leaves the dairy at 35 degrees.
And who pasteurizes it?
So it's pasteurized after it leaves. Once it gets to the user, they pasteurize it on.
So you're selling raw milk to them?
I'm selling raw milk to them, and they're doing that.
How many gallons are in them tankers that they take through?
6,000 gallons. There's 6,000 gallons on a semi-load. So it's similar. It's the same weight, basically, as water. It's 8.6.
So you're getting, and the average cow it's producing 10 gallons a day. Yeah. So it's 5 gallons in the morning. So you got a couple of them trucks every day coming and going.
Yeah, we ship a little over 2 semi-loads a day from our dairy. We're shipping about 107,000 pounds a day at our dairy.
That's crazy.
And some people think we're a big dairy. We're not. When you look at the rest of the state of Texas, we're not. Now, Windthorst is, at one time, I think we peaked at 65 or 70 operating dairies at one time. I think we just did a little history thing for the Archer County Museum in Archer City. I believe they said over history there were over 200 licensed dairies in Windthorst from kind of when we started to now. A lot of them have gone out.
How many are running now, you said?
Right now, we're down to about 18, 19. 18? Yeah, we're down. Everybody's milking more cows than they used to, but we're way down on number of operations. It's just changed. Next generation's not coming back. It's not as profitable as it used to be. It's
nothing is that.
It's just a little different. And kids can go to town and get a job and make a lot of money. Farm kids that are raised on a farm, they can they can hold a job.
Fuck yeah, because they're the hardest working kids in the world.
One of the, I've got 4 boys. 3 of them are not at the dairy, but one of the best things they can put on their resume is I was born and raised on a dairy farm in Windthorst,
Fuck yeah, you know
Texas.
somebody's a worker.
I got up in the morning and help. After school, I had to come on weekends. We worked our ass off, and that helps get a job right there.
Windthorst has always been a really cool community. It's really a difference between it and Archer City. And people in Archer City like Clay gonna get mad, but Windthorst is a home of champions.
Fuck Clay. But I had to say that. But no, I've got a lot of good friends in Archer City, and they're that is the only difference really is we have dairy farms, and now we're 95% Catholic, and we all go to one church on the hill in Windthorst, and I think that does make a big difference.
Community oriented there because everybody's got the same deal.
I told somebody the other day we have one school, one church. We have to kind of get along because we're all going to be at church together on Saturday night or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a different town. Windthorst is a little different. We support each other big time. We have a church auction every summer. We raised $220,000 at a church auction this summer. And it's our big fundraiser.
Is that what y'all do for because I know the Catholic Church in Rhineland, to pay the taxes, they do the chicken meal twice a year.
That's amazing.
Is that kind of what y'all do with the auction?
Yeah, kind of. We're pretty generous donation in our church. I think our church could fund itself without the auction right there. Mm-hmm. We're fixing to renovate. In another interesting thing, the school in Windthorst at one time was a Catholic school. Back when my dad was a kid, it was all nuns. You ought to hear the stories.
I bet.
They whoop your ass.
Yeah, they carried that ruler and just slapped the shit out of them if they acted up. But it made good people out of them. But it was a Catholic school, so most of the school property is owned by our church. It's no longer a Catholic school. We like to think of it as a Catholic school. You can ask McQuarrie. We have church before school still. They're not kids aren't required to go, but a lot of them do, especially the young kids. We offer. Well, I got to be careful because they told us, our lawyers tell us, yeah, it's cool, keep doing it, but I don't know how long the state's going to allow it to happen. But we have a religion class before school.
Good for y'all. We need more of that in the world.
Oh shit, yeah, we need. In 3 days a week they have religion. 2 days they go to church before school. So they're not required, and the bus runs early enough to get them there. But if you don't go to church, you have tutoring or stuff like that. You go to your classroom and sit. So you can either go sit in the classroom and be a jackass, or you can go up there to church
and learn something.
Save
your soul.
And if we have a lot of non-Catholics that go to school there, but they'll tell their kids, get your ass up there and go to church with those Catholic kids, because how could it hurt you to go sit in church for a little bit before you start your day?
So we have our Rhineland. I don't know if you.
It's the same thing, same kind of community.
They don't have dairies
small.
though.
Yeah, it's small,
a
tiny,
German Catholic community. They have best fried chicken in the world. They have the best chicken feed.
When is that?
March and October.
Okay.
Always.
So we have sausage meals in Windthorst. We just had one in Scotland yesterday.
They have chicken and sausage. I don't like the sausage. I like the chicken.
I love I love all of it.
But
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut.
Yep.
It's a good meal. But they had, when I first moved out here, they had the Rhineland dance, which was the same as the Windthorst dance. And I was like, hey, we have one on Windthorst dance.
They'll have the occasional Catholic wedding in Rhineland. Just random people go to Rhineland to get married in their church because they I guess their church still operates, right?
Yeah.
The Catholic church.
Yes.
I mean, that's from what I hear. I've heard of people getting married in Rhineland because great grandma grew up in Rhineland, and I'm going to go back there and get married.
I've been to a couple funerals over there. It's like a damn yoga exercise: up, down, up, down, up, down for a non-Catholic.
Right. You'll be all right.
I'm telling you, there should not be a fat Catholic in the world.
Did you get out of there all right?
Yeah, I did okay. But there shouldn't be a fat Catholic in the world. So, go back to Wichita Falls now. So back when I was in school, Windthorst and Notre Dame were the big rivals.
Oh, yeah.
And Notre Dame High School's not there anymore.
No, I can remember in the 80s, Notre Dame kicking the shit out of us in football. They had some good years back in the 80s.
Yeah, they did. They had some good. A couple of my friends played there.
There was some bowls, I think.
Yeah, Todd played in the pro football. Todd's a good friend of mine.
Some of those boys were, I mean, they were big, and they put together some teams that were a lot bigger than Windthorst, numbers-wise.
And then a couple of those kids, like Robert Woodruff, was an all-state player. Then he came over and played with us at Old High.
What's the soccer girl's name?
Mia Ham went to school there because her brother, they lived down the street from me growing up.
Little trivia about Chad Steinberger. I played her in junior high football. She played junior high football for Notre Dame. Hell yeah. It was one of those deals you were afraid to tackle her because you didn't want to look like an idiot.
Yeah. They lived down the street from us, and Garrett, her older brother that died of cancer, he played we played for the Giants. Was our team we played for in the Little League football growing up, and
Just
he
like
was a
the
Giant.
movie.
Yep,
Yeah.
and he was a Giant, and we won a lot of games.
So was he about your age?
He was a couple years older than me.
Oh,
but
really?
Mia was always outside being a tomboy when we would drop him off. Coach Webb would take us. We had, remember the old Mary Millers, them old like conversion
Mary Myler,
van?
yeah.
Is that Mary
I think
Myler?
we called them Mary Milers.
But
yeah.
Coach Webb had one, and he would drive us to practice. So there'd be 8 of us in that damn thing, and we would take Garrett home sometimes.
Isn't that
And she
crazy?
was out there, and it was just his sister. I didn't know who she was, and it turns out she.
You know, the world was a lot simpler back then because you mentioned going to practice. I remember as a kid, Little League baseball practice. You know, I can still see our coach, Butch Slump, having a beer in one hand and tossing that ball up and hitting
Yeah.
the infield, you know. And we didn't think nothing of
It was
it.
the Ron Stanfield method.
Yeah, and nobody thought nothing. And then we would load up the back of the pickup, like you said, and we'd go to Archer City because Archer City, Scotland, and Windthorst. Windthorst had 2 teams, Archer had 2, and Scotland had 1, and that was our Little League right
Yeah.
there. You know,
We drove down Southwest Parkway in the back of a truck. I remember we played the Wolverines and the Leopards on the black schools. And them boys were on the back
Yeah.
of a truck, and they were all.
I think the Leopards are still around in that Y football.
Well, the
thing.
Giants, we used to whip their ass.
Yeah, I
but they
bet so.
were very good. I mean, we beat them in the semifinals or every time going to the state championship. They were who we played a lot. But we drove down Southwest Parkway.
Yeah.
You know, Virgil Smith was our coach. He worked at TxDOT. He had this old black, I think it was a Ford pickup. I'd give anything to that old truck. Every kid on our baseball team in the back of it, 50 miles an hour right down Southwest Parkway, think nothing of it.
It was a big deal when one of our coaches, Adam Barron, got a Suburban back in the early 80s. You know, it was
Oh, I was
one of the
living high
original
cotton.
Suburbans.
Yeah.
Yeah. He loaded our asses up and brought us to
I
Archer
was
City.
just talking about today how simpler things were back in the day. And,
Oh, yeah.
and Andy always says, oh, it was worse than it is now, crime and everything. And I don't know if that it was.
You and I were raised in the perfect time.
I think so too.
Perfect time because, of course, my parents took care of me. I had anything I wanted. I mean, we didn't have everything, but anything we wanted, we had. But even if you didn't have it, you had enough. You know what I mean? There was no cell phones. You didn't sit in the house all day watching TV.
No, you played outside.
You did shit.
Yeah.
You know? I can still remember riding our bikes up to the school hill at school because we had a steep hill we'd ride up and down and up and down. You know, just cool stuff like that.
Like Lou Holtz said, he said, we had plenty to eat growing up. He said, I know because my dad told me that.
Yeah.
He had plenty, boy, and that was the end of it. So,
I think cell phones have changed the way people party too. Because now, if a high school kid goes out and does something stupid, it'll be right there for everybody to see on
Yeah.
Monday.
Yep.
and parents also have, what's it called? Find Me or whatever it is.
Live 360.
Or whatever it is and shit. Boy, my parents would know where the shit I was at. Why'd you drive down Flood Street, Jeff?
When I was on school board there, we had a kid got in trouble because he, it's the big no drinking rule from the
Yeah.
coaches, and they had a party one weekend, and somebody took a picture of him drinking beer, turned it into the coach, and I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know what's worse. I mean, to me, it's not a big deal that the kid's drinking beer, but I'd hate to be the chicken shit that took a picture of him
And send it to
and
coach.
send it to coach because I
Yep.
mean that's kind of
Yeah.
chicken shit in my mind because kids are going to be kids.
I talked about sports at Windthorst. Windthorst had a lot of great teams, won a lot of state championships. Brad Green was y'all's coach, right? Was that his name?
Bill Green.
Bill Green. He come from Oklahoma and he come to
Yep.
Windthorst. Won a couple 3 or 4 state
He won
championships.
2 state championships.
2 state
Yep.
championships. Now he was an outsider.
Yes.
Did he have any ties to Windthorst when he came there?
None whatsoever, and he brought his boys there and raised them there.
And they were good
He's
athletes.
a very good athlete.
So
His youngest son was probably the best football player. Well, that's debatable, but one of the best for sure to ever play at Windthorst was his youngest son.
so when they came there, did he win right off the bat?
It's kind of an odd deal. That was in the early 90s. I was out of high school. We had a group of boys that we knew. You know, sometimes you just know. And we had a group of boys that were going to graduate in 97, so it was the fall of 96. And we had a coach that they hired, I want to say 91, 92, that came, and he messed up and didn't last. And Bill got brought in for those boys' junior year and brought in that veer offense. And he had a group of linemen that could compete at any level. I mean, and I hear this a lot. Even the sports writers from Wichita Falls said they could have gave the big schools in Wichita Falls a run for their money that year. And, he came in, and in 2 years, the first year he went about 2 or 3 deep in the playoffs, and next year he rattled off and kicked the shit out of everybody on the way, just mowed them down. And we went west that year. It was just a really good – I had a nephew that was the starting tailback on that team, and and they were loaded.
Well, y'all were good when you were in high school.
And that kind of started it, because in the early 80s, 70s and early 80s were pretty good. We slacked off there for about 6 or 8 years, and then about 94, something clicked. We had that group of boys, and that's what it takes a lot of times. You have that one group, and they were, don't get me wrong, they were turds.
That usually helps, though.
That usually helps. You're right. They were turds, and they know it. Even to this day, they cannot stand that we run the damn spread offense at Windthorst, because they lined up and just kicked shit out of everybody and ran it down everybody's throat. Threw when they had to. That's one thing about Bill, is he threw the ball when he had to, but if he didn't have to, he wasn't going to. He was going to wear your ass out running the ball, running that veer. Well, smash left, smash right was.
Because y'all had a big run, and then Petrolia got real good, and we beat you on the playoffs, and then Petrolia beat us.
That was in the early O's.
Yes.
That was 02 when they won state.
Yeah.
And that would have been my freshman year, the year that we beat Windthorst. We beat Windthorst, played Petrolia next, and then got beat by Petrolia.
Troy was really good.
They had that. What was that running back's name? He was a stud.
I can't remember.
Harrison.
Ross Harrison.
Ross Harrison.
And they had that quarterback, a Creech kid. Hell, they had 3 Division and David Nelson played in the NFL.
David Nelson on
they
that
had
team.
2 Division II players played in Division II and NFL.
Ross Harrison was the stud.
Oh, he was good. They had good line too. What about?
I think Windthorst. Did y'all have the swinging gate for field goal?
Oh yeah, we did a lot of that.
We had to. Yeah, like that. I think that was like the only team that did the swinging gate. So my freshman year, I played special teams in the playoffs, but I remember like having to get ready for the swinging gate. It's like, what the fuck? Just line up and kick the fucking ball.
Now, Archer City had a good team. Would have been the late 80s.
Yes.
And that was Wayne. Was our head coach was under there. Tommy Don Slon left from Knox City, went to Archer City, and they almost won state. They got beat in the state finals.
No. Early 2000s. They had a team that won nearly one state. They were good in the late 80s, but they were really good in basketball in the late 80s. They used to kick the shit.
Yes, they always were really good. The Ray boys.
I hated playing Archer City in basketball.
Is Jeff still around?
Jeff.
Ray.
I don't know.
He's a good guy. He was one of my professors.
He ended up
at
MSU, right?
Yeah, he was my. I can't remember what I had him. I had him for like badminton and volleyball. He was good. I like Coach Ray. He was the golf coach too.
They had the McCorkles. I don't know if you remember them.
Nicky McCorkle.
Nicky McCorkle was my age.
Yep.
And I
Coach
remember
Steele and you're the same age.
I remember playing Nicky as a kid, and he was like a full-grown man when he was 10 years old, and it was like, why are we playing this adult?
Do you remember Coach Steele or Chuck Steele? Charles Steele.
Charles Steele. Yeah.
Coach Steele. He's one of my best friends, Chuck.
Okay.
He was a full-grown guy too.
I just remember Nicky, and then Nicky's older brother Mark coached in Windthorst for several years. But Nicky was a stud. But they won some state championships, and Archer did in basketball in the 80s. And then they had a football team, I want to say 92, 93, somewhere in there.
That's when
they should have won state.
Our coach left Knox City, and he went there. And
what's his name?
Tommy Sloan.
Tommy Sloan.
He was the head coach at Knox City when they won state with Coach Hutch, who was Andy's football coach.
He should have won state in Archer City.
They had a really good team. They got beat by Goldwaith, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a kid that I think he was a tremendous athlete, but he didn't like to pay attention to orders, and you can get away with that shit for a couple rounds, but play a good team. But they should have won state there.
I went to the Holiday game that year, and I had a bunch of buddies of mine went to Holiday, and I used to get so sick and tired of hearing about Holiday shit.
They invented football.
Yeah, they sure did. But they've never won a state championship ever, and I'm going to catch.
Hey, they finally won something, and what was it here recently? I don't know, but I don't know that they've ever won a baseball championship.
No, they haven't,
either.
because we had Coach Wolf on.
Yeah.
And we talked about that, because all the things they've done, they've never won at all. And I'm going to catch shit from Holiday people over this, but it's the truth. But I went to that game because I got so sick and tired of it, and I dated a girl from Holiday, and I used to hear that shit all the time. And we went over to Archer City that night, and Archer City beat the living shit out of them.
In basketball?
It was in football.
Oh, in football.
They beat the piss. But the Holiday thought they invented football.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what was that old guy's name? Was it Coach Lucy? Was that the guy's name?
Don Lucy, maybe? I don't know.
I think so.
It's funny because my third son played a lot of travel ball, and he played a lot of sports, and he's the same age as Scott Belcher's boy. Scott Belcher grew up in Holiday.
Yep.
He's probably between me and you. Anyway, he's a head baseball coach in Windthorst.
Right.
But he coached this group of boys when they were little kids all the way up, and we were playing in a summer tournament up there in Wichita Falls, and we ran into a Holiday team in this tournament, and of course we're taking care of them. We're beating them. But them Holiday parents were bitching, and they were bitching at Scott about something, and he was like, "Go back to what have y'all ever won in Holiday? How many statues are in? I know, I grew up there. You know, it was so funny listening to him."
Now, did Coach Wolf live in Holiday? Wasn't he in Windthorst too?
No, Coach Wolf's never been Windthorst.
He was Holiday in
Archer City.
Archer City, okay.
Yeah.
But he coached
When I was
summer
in high
league
school,
ball.
he was their high school football
Okay,
coach.
but he was
and baseball.
and summer league. He was a summer league.
Yeah, may have. I don't know.
Because Matt was on with us, and we talked. Or we had Coach Wolf on, but Matt McQuarrie, his sons played summer league baseball with or
for Coach Wolf. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was kind of a kids from everywhere type of team. They were really good. They called it Crush or something like that.
Our middle son played baseball with the North Texas Longhorns. And it was all kids, and there was a couple of Windthorst kids on that team.
More than Travis.
We went to
Travis and Colin. Travis Wolf was on that team.
And
my nephew.
We went to Wichita, and we won the city championship over there. And those people did not like that because it was all small school kids. Because we would drive to Wichita and play baseball twice a week. And I thought, this is so fucking stupid. And we won that. We won the championship.
It is fun to kick shit out of those big towns.
We did, and we beat everybody in Wichita and Holiday and everybody. But it was a couple kids from
it was the North Texas Longhorns.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was a couple kids.
There's an Alney kid too on there. Yeah.
A couple kids from Holiday.
I remember watching them because my nephew was on that team.
They had a good team. But we went, and that was our first real travel baseball year, and all the kids wearing this.
That's kind of when it was getting started.
And I told Michelle, I said, these people have no life, because we had Andy in high school, and we were a Class A top 10 team in football, so we were really into this. Then we got this travel baseball shit, and I was like, these parents act like this is the end of the world, because that was their whole life.
Well, Andy he was undefeated junior high football quarterback. Is that what it was? I was looking for the sign when I came into town.
Yeah, and then the wheels started to fall off when got into high school.
No, y'all had to play schools 2 times bigger than y'all.
We did get screwed in realignment. Albany dropped down to, it was 1A back then, 1A 6-man now, but Albany had just dropped down, and so did Haskell. So you look over, we've got like 30 kids on varsity, and they've got 50 or 60. So,
well, that's the first time we had Stanford, Hawley, Anson in our district. I remember, what are we doing with these guys in our district? I mean, those are big towns.
Wayne's got a hell of a program at Stanford too.
Is he's
Coach
back
Hutch,
there?
Yeah, he's back there now.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, his first year back, they get beat in the state championship. Last year, I think they got beat in the second or third round. And he's supposed to have a really good team here. He's a great coach. He was great in Knox City. He'd still be in Knox
Those
City if we
guys
have
don't
kids.
forget how to coach.
No.
They know their stuff.
He told me out here one night, because when he lived in Knox City, they'd come out here and eat dinner all the time. He told me one time, it was when Joe Paterno was catching shit. He goes, "That's kind of funny." He said, "They act like Joe Paterno forgot how to coach football."
No.
He goes, and it was one of them years when Paterno was like 8-0 all of a sudden. And he said, they act like he said, he didn't forget how to coach football. You don't forget. You have talent come and go. But them guys like that are just good football coaches.
Windthorst, I did play-by-play radio for Windthorst for, 15 years probably, and I loved it. I enjoyed the heck out of it because you get to know the kids, you get to know the coaches. I mean, it's just cool. But Windthorst, one thing they do, they've got parent support like no other.
Yeah.
Very community-oriented.
And we've had the same, our head coach now has been the head coach since 11. So if you can keep a coach for 10 or 15 years as your AD head coach, you're going to have some success. The worst thing you can do is rotate through coaches. Another thing they do is they schedule stiff competition in pre-district.
I think that's important.
I saw Windthorst's schedule for this coming fall. Holy crap, I don't know what's gotten into Tackett. He starts off with Holiday, City View, Munster, Henrietta. He's scheduled three really tough ones, and hit nothing against Henrietta. We usually take care of Henrietta, but it's always a dogfight.
Yeah, but
that's
City
a school
View, Munster,
twice the size.
Holiday
of us.
are both big time programs.
Big, yeah. I don't know why he
Holiday's
went back
gonna
to
play
Holiday.
Iowa Park.
I don't know why the hell he went back. We used to play Holiday, and then they finally got to where they were taking care of us pretty good there at the end, so we quit scheduling them. But we run into issue at Windthorst. Nobody will schedule us. Like 1A, 2A schools won't schedule us.
We're
and
gonna
3A won't because they don't want us to kick their ass.
There's going to be some issues coming up with all the new move-ins with some of these schools, like Haskell. It's got 189 kids in high school. They think that next year there's going to be 800 kids in high school there. I don't know how that's possible, but that's going to play some major roles in a lot of these football teams with these data center towns.
So they weren't there when they did the count, but they're going to be there when school starts in the fall.
They think there's going to be 800 kids now.
It's going to be like, remember the Titans? When what's that boy's name shows up to play quarterback?
Sunshine.
Yeah, Sunshine shows up.
But they're going to have stuff like that. But, I mean, you're going to go from a small growth to this huge. Now, I don't know if they're going to get any athletes out of it, but let's just say they go from 200 kids to 300 kids. That's a big transition for small towns. People listening to this that their kids are going to school at Allen and somewhere with 5,000-6,000 kids. It's not that big a deal. But when you talk about these communities, it's got
it's a big deal.
Where are you going to put them? Could you imagine if Windthorst, Texas, if y'all got 100 extra kids, where would you put them at? Just in high school.
So something similar happened to us when my final few years on the school board when they shut down Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
We
had
a lot of kids from Notre Dame come to school,
Catholic school.
To Windthorst to go to school, and we've kept most of them. Most of them have stayed. Now, not a lot of athletes, but a lot of numbers. It was a big deal for us. Enrollment is huge. You know this, Andy. Enrollment is huge on your state funding.
Yeah.
So if you can get kids at your school, it helps you tremendous. At that time, it was like $9,000 for every kid that we had come in. So, man, if we could add, we added, I don't remember the exact numbers. It was probably 40, 50 kids. We added K through 12. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you start talking 9, 10 grand a kid, that's big money for your school.
And they're talking
and we didn't have to add teachers,
But they're going to add, if they get that, I don't think there's going to be. I don't think they're going to be that. But I've seen the RV parks, and I don't know how many of those gypsy worker guys. That's what I call them.
Have kids.
They're going to have kids that are actually going to come there. There's a lot of guys work from home. But there's some families that are gypsy families that go with dad everywhere he goes, and they live in an RV, and there's 4 or 5. You're going to pick up some of those kids. But there's a lot of dads are working just like that go to Midland and work. They go to Fork for 2 weeks and go home. Well, those kids are going to stay where they're at. But if they get that kind of growth, I don't know how a school with 200 kids and a high school could take 100 more kids. And they're talking 800.
If they move into the district, they have to take them. They don't have a choice.
No, I know that. Yeah, but I just don't know where you're going to.
But Andy will know this. It kind of puts you on the spot as a school district because now you got to come up with classrooms and teachers. Where the hell are you going to find teachers?
That's what I'm saying.
To go to Haskell, Texas, on spur of the moment. They're out there. There's usually a reason. Yeah, there's a reason they're out there.
Yeah, there's a reason those late hires are late hires.
We have hell out here hiring teachers after you get your regular people done. But like it comes May or June, and you're desperate for a teacher because Andy's on school board. I got friends that coaches. I got superintendents I'm friends with. I know what they go through. It's terrible to find a coach or teachers. I mean, y'all have the same trouble in Windthorst too?
The biggest thing that hurts us is pay.
Ours is housing too.
We don't have a problem getting because we're close enough to Wichita Falls. They could drive from Wichita Falls, or you hate to say Archer City. They could live in Archer. There's housing in Archer City available, but we're only 11 miles from Archer City. But it's usually pay. We just don't. And you know this, teachers. It's almost embarrassing what teachers make. They're making more now because of this. What is this thing? I can't remember.
State came in and
if they qualify for this thing.
Yeah, and we're doing it's called a teacher incentive allotment.
Yes, that's what it is.
So like it's substantial.
That's a big money.
It's a lot of money for.
And I think I read
teachers.
the other day, Windthorst, like 70 or 80% of them now are qualifying. Windthorst. It was a big.
We had
number.
a big number for Knox City too. A lot of them are gonna. But I mean, it's just
wasn't it like 9 or 10 grand a year or something?
It's a lot.
It was a lot.
What's y'all's housing situation in Windthorst? Because we have none in Knox City.
Nothing. And nobody will sell land. It's a bunch of farmers. We're not turning loose on land. Nobody will turn loose a house. And when a house comes available, you better get it quick because it will not last long at all. It just doesn't last. So usually they end up in Wichita Falls, any new teachers. But we've got excellent teachers. But like I said, most of them are homegrown ladies that.
Because we in Knox City, if you wanted to hire a new principal, well, your principal's going to be making what's a principal like $80,000 a year?
Yeah, roughly
60 to 80.
So $80,000 a year, and most principals come with a wife that's a teacher. They come in pairs. So that's another
husband,
or husband. That's another $40,000 a year. So you got $120,000 in that household. Well, they want to live in a decent house. Well, our problem in Knox City is you either have a house that costs $500,000 or it costs $30,000.
Yeah,
there's
and
no
you don't
in
want to live in
between.
that $30,000 one.
No, because you have to do $100,000 of work to make it livable. But that's what our problem is out here. Because people ask me, and you think Knox City is a dying town, and we're dying, but we've stayed about the same the last 10 years. I mean, I went to Spur, Texas this weekend. Were you impressed with Spur when you drove through town? There's nothing there. It looks like a ghost town. Would you say that's very fair?
Yeah.
And that's a town 50 years ago. They have a school, yeah. But their town around it is just everything's dilapidated.
It's a shame. It's sad.
Paducah's that way too.
Yeah.
All these little towns always, and people ask me all the time, well, what's happening out there? Well, there's no jobs. All these kids that grow up here, and I've got 3 boys, and I've got 1 boy that lives here still. the kids, there's no jobs here, or they're not interested in staying home. They want to go to a bigger city and live, or there's more things available for them. But there's no good.
Or they married a gal that says, I'm not moving back.
That happens a lot too. But when you there's no industry here. Like in Windthorst, outside of the dairies, do y'all have any industry there?
Just farming, that's about it. But we're close enough to Wichita Falls. We've got guys that work at
y'all have
Shepherd
a
Air
big
Force
advantage
Base.
over
Yes.
a lot of small towns.
A lot of ladies that actually teach at Wichita Falls that don't teach in Windthorst. They can make more money. That's an interesting thing is they can teach in Wichita Falls and make about $15,000 more. I shouldn't say that number. They can make more. It's like, do you want to teach in Wichita Falls or do you want to teach in Windthorst? The average student in Windthorst is a little better, well-minded.
Yeah.
You know their mom and dad, so you can say, hey, your kid's being a turd in school today, that kind of thing. Where Wichita Falls, you don't know what you're getting into. Dealing with parents in Wichita Falls.
How far is Jacksboro from y'all?
35 miles
35
south.
miles?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you grew up in Wichita, there was a lot of kids from Windthorst came to Wichita.
Yep.
It was not unusual to have Windthorst kids running around everywhere we'd go to.
That's all we did.
Right, but there's nobody from Jacksboro there.
No.
That's that kind of that. There's
It's the line.
It's that like Seymour. There was a few kids from Seymour used to come to Wichita at nighttime, but not a lot.
Well, they built a loop around that, and that sure changed that town, don't
Yes.
you
Yeah.
think?
Yes.
That's one of the worst things you can do to a city.
It kills
is
them.
Put a loop around it.
Anson's the only one that doesn't have a loop around it. Somebody there got something done, but every other city, Haskell looped it, Mundy looped it.
Why do they do that? I mean, that
Stanford?
kills your.
It's interstate, it's state highway funding, federal highway funding.
That's a shame because but there's not even a store, if I'm not mistaken, in Seymour, right? Like on the loop,
The Dollar General's off of it. There's nothing.
like not
They're-
a convenience store.
Nope.
At least when you go through, was it Haskell? There's the big convenience store.
Well, they're
and
building a
stuff.
Chicken Express in Haskell now. Haskell's going big time.
Yeah.
Well,
Going big time.
supposedly getting a Brahms
right
too
up there with that Rhineland chicken.
Yep,
Wow.
yep.
Look at that. How do you get milk to Brahms? Do they have their own dairy?
Brahms produces nearly all of their own milk.
Oh, they do?
They have a dairy farm themselves in Tuttle, Oklahoma.
You've been to it.
They milk about 15,000 cows right there in Tuttle, Oklahoma. Not only that, they produce their own hamburger meat too.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that. I knew they did their own milk because that's like to have a Brahms store, you have to be within 1 day of them being able to deliver to it.
Yeah,
They want it fresh.
Yeah, and it's because Abilene just now got a Brahms.
I guess that's within a day. It's
Yep,
getting it there.
Abilene I guess last 6 months to 9 months ago.
I didn't know
opened
they
it
had a
up.
Brahms.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. Brahms, that old man, I don't know if he's still alive. The daughter, I think, is kind of overseeing everything right now. But that's they have the cows. And when a cow's life is done, when she quits producing milk, they usually turn into hamburger meat, a dairy cow.
Really?
So they'll most dairy cows, when they finish production life, they'll go into slaughter.
How old?
Oh, it depends. A lot of them, not a lot of them die. A percentage of them die, and the ones that don't die, usually 5 years old, 6 years old, is about the average production life.
And
What's-
Brahms
what's
makes
your-
a good hamburger, too.
They have a good place. That's a good place to
Yeah,
eat anyway.
it's like it's a good burger.
Yeah, it's
chicken-
a good
they're-
hamburger.
Briskets and gravy used to be outstanding there. What is your what's the oldest cow you've got?
Oldest cow in my herd is 12 years old this year. And
You ever-
she's a good cow, really good cow. If they could all
You got a
live
name
that
to her?
long, her number. I don't know.
Just
her
a number?
I know her sire. She's
They know old
she's
Bessie.
a Bradnick daughter. I know who her daddy is, but I don't know her name. But yeah, I know most of my cows by number. I can see a cow and tell you what number she is, and any good dairyman can tell you every cow on their place. Until you get to large dairies, then they don't.
They walk themselves to get milked every day.
So that's the difference. You mentioned the robotic dairies earlier. So the dairy that I have is a traditional dairy. We have 6 groups of cows with roughly 200 cows in each group. It takes us hour and a half to milk each, hour 20 to milk each group. So we bring one group in, they go through the parlor, get milked. When we get the last round or 2 in, we bring the next group in, and it's just a nonstop flow of bringing those groups of cows in. And we actually manually attach the milking unit to them and milk them.
How long does it take to milk a cow?
Oh, 6 minutes probably. So to get her into the barn, prep her, milk her, be done with her, it's about 12 minutes. About a 12-minute.
We do wash down her nipples and shit.
Yeah. So when they walk in, we give them a hand. We just rake them with our hand, just kind of knock off. My cows lay on sand. They're in individual stalls. We call it a freestall barn, but they also can go outside if they want to. But most of them choose to. We bed them on sand, so they'll have a little sand on their tits. That's what we call it.
Tits,
So,
nipple,
so here
whatever.
we go. So on their tits, and we kind of wipe it off. Then we dip it with an iodine foam dip. It's got an air injected thing. It just foams it up. And we dip them, and then we go back and wipe it off with a paper towel. We give it one squirt, put the milker on.
So there's some manual labor involved.
Oh yeah,
on
yeah.
that
It's
deal.
all manual labor on a traditional dairy like us. Everything's manual. The only thing that's really automated is it goes through a sensor. The when we attach the milker, we do it manually, but I have an automatic takeoff, which will sense when that cow's done milking and pull it off. Other than that, everything is
So
manual.
it'll release itself.
Yeah, it'll release the vacuum, pull it off, and hang.
Do you feed them while you're milking them?
We don't. A lot of dairies do. Most small dairies do, and all robotic dairies do.
But they want to be milked, so they
Yeah,
it
so they
relieves
know
them,
when
right?
we open the gate,
It's uncomfortable. isn't it?
they're headed to the parlor to get milk. Now, I'll talk about the robotic milkers. It's just a different way of milking. There's 3 robotic dairies in Windthorst, and they each milk anywhere from 400 to 700 cows. And those cows there, they are free flow. So they choose to go get milk. It's different technology. The computer keeps track of which cow was milked, when she was milked, how much she was milked, everything. And the only thing, those cows choose to go milk. They'll come up there, they'll feel it, hey, it's time to go. Not only that, they get fed in that robotic milker. They get fed a really good grain, a really sweet tasting
So
pellet.
that's an incentive.
It's
for
an
them
incentive to bring them in. They'll have cows that try to just get done, circle around, come right back in. But that computer knows, no, she just left, so we're going to kick her right. We're not going to give her grain, so it drops a set amount of grain when the right cow walks in. But I would say 90, probably 95% of the cows will come in on their own on that deal. Once, twice a day, they have a list of cows that they just kind of walk through and find them and usually get them up and kind of walk them up there, and then they'll know what's going on, and they'll walk on in and get milked.
What's-
Kind of thing.
I've heard like I'm trying to think of the word, but like you said, basically like these sensors track everything on that cow.
So that's one thing that has really changed our industry. I would say half the dairies in Windthorst have it now. I would say 70% of the herds in the United States have them, and give it 10 years, we're all going to have it. It's a Fitbit for cows. Let's
Right.
just call it a
Yeah.
Fitbit, but it's an activity monitoring system.
yeah.
Mine is on a collar around their neck. Some of them put it on an ankle brace around their leg. Some of them are an ear tag. Some of them are a bolus, and they've come up now with a chip one. But mine is a collar, and it keeps track of the activity of that cow. It keeps heat detection is the big thing. It tells me when that cow's in heat, so I don't have to manually look for heat. So I know every morning, here's this list of cows in heat that we need to get bred. It monitors everything. Her rumination, it keeps track. It's crazy. That thing on their neck or in their ear can sense when that cow's eating or her chewing her cud. Is that my chair doing that?
Yeah, you're right.
It senses when that cow's chewing her cud and when it's eating. So it knows, and the ear tags actually measure body temperature because that's how you can kind of tell, like when a dog's sick or when a cow's sick, her ears get cold. So anyway, it can tell you the health of that cow.
Right.
And that helps you a bunch then.
Oh shit, yeah, because we're not looking for sick cows. Mm-hmm. The computer's telling me, hey, these cows right here is maybe something wrong with
Something's
them. You need to
going
go
on.
check them out. Okay, they're not eating. They're normal. They're not getting around. They're not moving around as much, or their body temperature's a little bit off. Stuff like
So will that will probably like cut down on your mortality rate too, won't it? 'Cause you
definitely.
can-
So instead of cows dying,
yeah,
I can get them. I can get them healthy,
right,
or I can get them healthy and sell them.
right.
That kind of thing.
What is the so when a cow has a cycle and she has a calf or 2 calves or whatever they have,
Yep.
how long is she out of the rotation of being milked when that happens?
So on a dairy farm, a cow will have their first calf at 2 years old. Okay. Pretty much that's the standard in the industry. Some people will drop it to 1 year, 10 months. Some of them will do 2 years, 2 months. But the standard is about 2 years old. We have their first calf. Our goal is to get them pregnant about as quick as we can because a cow gives her most milk after she calves, and she'll carry that production for about 9 months pretty heavy. After that, they go to falling off in production pretty heavy. So your goal is to wait for about 45 to 60 to 75 days and get her pregnant as quickly as you can. We usually don't breed them before 45 to 60 days because they're not ready. They're not cleaned up. They're not healthy enough. Just like a woman, birth is pretty tough on them, you know. It's pretty stressful. They go, especially the first one, the first calf. It's pretty stressful on them. So we try to get them bred back fairly quick because the fresher, we call it fresh. When she's fresh is when she has that calf. The sooner after calving is when she's her most productive. Okay.
So what will you so you take these cows and you got the calf. So how long until they start giving milk? How old? 6 months, 9 months, a year before before you can milk them when they're babies?
A calf.
A calf
turns to a cow.
They turn into a cow at 2 years old.
So you can't even milk them till they're 2?
Till they're 2 years old. Yes.
Okay, I didn't understand that.
Cannot milk them till they're 2 years old. Some people try to sneak it a little early, but
okay,
no.
I got you now there.
So you're out of quite an investment. You've got to raise that replacement for 2 years
and feed them for 2
But
years.
it's the same thing on a beef cow. A beef heifer doesn't usually calve till she's close to 2 years old also. So you're not getting any return on an Angus cow either.
So your 12-year-old milking cow you have, how many babies has she had?
She's had probably 9. I'd have to go back and look. But I'm also doing some embryo work on her too. So actual births, 9. But offspring in the herd, it's a lot. So I'm doing embryo work on her.
How many will like your average dairy cow? What are they selling for as a baby, like an Angus would?
This is crazy. So
I'm asking because I think I know, and that's why I'm.
So forever, the value was in the Holstein heifer, the purebred Holstein heifer. That's where the value was because we needed them for a replacement animal to become a cow one day. So that's what we all wanted. We wanted as many heifers as we could produce because if we had extras, we could sell them and make a little money. Well, in about 2005, the industry came out with what we call, this is a long answer to get back to what I'm telling you. The industry came out with sexed semen. So we can purchase semen that will determine the sex of the offspring
of that
of that
female.
calf. So right now, the dairy industry pretty much only deals with female sorted semen. It goes through a machine, it sorts it, throws away the male. Well, what does if they want the male? They typically on dairy breeds they don't want the male semen. We only want the female semen. So that changed things. So we will only breed our most productive animals to sexed female semen to produce the offspring. The least productive animals, those cows that milk a little bit less, aren't as good as cows, we'll breed those to either traditional semen, which might give us a heifer, might give us a bull, or the big thing is now is breed them to Angus semen. So we're crossbreeding Angus semen on pretty much any dairy breed in the United States and producing an animal that is worth a lot more money than a Holstein, pure-blood Holstein bull calf. Holstein bull calf's worth money right now, don't get me wrong, but that Angus cross semen calf is worth a lot more.
Like
a lot more. So 5 years ago, a Holstein bull calf would bring a $100 bill, and that Angus cross would bring $250. We all know what's happened to the beef market here recently. Mm-hmm. A Holstein bull calf today is bringing $700 at birth. An Angus cross is bringing $1,475 this week in Windthorst, Texas.
Wow.
And they come and pick them up. We don't even have to bring them anywhere.
Wow.
Now, that is historic highs.
Right.
But all beef right now is at historic highs. You talk to the biggest money makers in agriculture, well, I shouldn't say in agriculture, in the cattle business, is your cow-calf operators. The guys you see out here on the side of the road that got these mama cows that are having a calf every year, they're making the most money in animal agriculture right now because most of them have some land that they're feeding those cows on relatively cheap. They're out on grass, and they're throwing them a high-dollar calf. And we love when we get twin black calves because most of the time they may not be big enough day one, but you give them a week, 10 days, and they're the same size as a normal calf, and we get double the money on that calf.
I remember when it wasn't.
And we used to give the little bastards.
That's what I was going to say. 15, 20 years ago, you'd see them. What are you doing? Oh, a guy gave me one of them, or I paid $20 for it, or whatever it was. So there's a market there now.
Oh yeah,
that's what I would.
It's crazy, And the beef on dairy, we call it beef on dairy. What we're doing, and it's all over the United States. It's not just me, but pretty much every dairy in the United States, they're breeding a percentage of their dairy cattle to to Angus. Angus is the breed. And they're coming out with these solid black calves. Most of them will be solid black. And you really can't tell the difference. And they're yield really well. And it's a damn good beef, too. I mean, you can cross Angus with pretty much anything. Produce a damn good beef.
That's why I asked, because I knew it was pretty,
and
at one time was pretty cheap.
They can be considered certified Angus beef because all you have to do is be Angus sired and solid black, and you're considered certified Angus. So it's pretty cool. It's changed the industry. Not only that, getting into the business of things here, we used to flood the dairy industry with too many heifers because we all knew if we had too many, we could sell them. And all that did was, when you have more heifers out there, somebody's got to milk them. We produce too much milk, and our milk market goes to shit.
Yeah.
So now we've all figured out that why are we producing more these replacement heifers than we need? Why don't we just barely produce enough, breed the rest to Angus? We'll flood the damn beef market with too much. Well, that didn't happen. Right now the beef market's excellent, but we'll flood the beef market with all those, and then we'll help keep our milk price high. And it's worked for the most part. Right now we're kind of in a lull in the milk price.
What does a gallon of milk cost at the store right now? Because I'm not a price shopper.
Probably $2.99, $3.50, somewhere in there.
I worked at Oak Farms when I was 13 and 14 years old.
I remember you saying that.
$2.29 and $2.49 a gallon back then.
It's almost a shame that milk to the dairyman hasn't kept up with the rest of the world. And beef really didn't until here in the last few years. I mean, your beef guys are just now getting...
So a gallon of milk's $3 right now.
Yeah.
So what do you get, $1 a gallon?
So we get paid by the hundredweight, and I'd have to figure that out.
It's a commodity traded deal,
yeah,
right?
so it's on the futures market. So if you look at your futures market on the Chicago, the board, there is Class 3 milk futures and Class 4 milk futures, but basically that's how they determine our milk price right now.
And it's 100-pound weight.
We're getting paid about $17 for every 100 pounds, and what is that, 11 gallons? So whatever, 17.
Gallon, 8 gallons, 8 pounds a gallon?
8.6.
Yeah.
So it's about 11.
11 gallons.
So whatever 17 divided by 11 is, it's 2.5. So, no, it's not even that. One and a half.
$1.30.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
So we get about 50% of what it brings at the store, which sucks,
Oh, that's way everywhere.
And people have tried direct marketing and stuff like that. And there's been some, they're building a new processing plant in Waco, Walmart is. And there's going to be some dairies in that Stephenville, Central Texas area that are going to ship straight to Walmart. Our milk goes through a cooperative, but Walmart has come in and said, we're going to build a processing plant in Waco, Texas. We'd love to have your milk. Here's what we'll pay you. And you just have to weigh the benefits of whether it's worth it or not. They've got some quality restrictions that shouldn't be challenging to meet, but they have a lot of benefits that we don't get with the cooperative and stuff like that.
The Volmer guys have done really well for themselves.
Volman.
Is it Volman?
Yeah.
They've got banana milk. They got chocolate milk. They got every blueberry.
I'm just guessing. I'm going to bet less than 10% of their milk they bottle themselves. I'm going to bet the other 90% goes to a cooperative like ours does.
So they're not.
They milk 5, 6, 7,000 cows.
Okay.
And what they sell is a small percentage of what they
got the glass bottles.
Yeah, it's good shit.
It is.
I'm telling you, it's good stuff.
The chocolate milk, Michelle buys for the grandkids sometimes. But they've got I saw the other day in the store. I'm not a milk drinker at all. Sorry, but
it's a shame.
I'm bad. I don't like the taste of milk at all. I love ice cream. I like cottage cheese, I like sour cream. I love cheese. I'm a dairy guy.
Cheese is the stuff.
I just do not like the taste of milk, and I never have. But that they have an espresso milk I saw the other day that they're doing now.
Coffee type stuff.
Coffee, and I thought that's smart because
was it good? Have you tried it?
I didn't try it. But I don't ever buy milk. I never drink milk.
I don't want to knock my masculinity here, but I'm an iced coffee drinker.
Those are good.
I love it. McDonald's iced coffee to me is like the best thing in the
caramel macchiato that they have.
Yeah, it's
really good.
And it's a lot. There's a lot of dairy products in that stuff. So.
I'm a H2T get to go, the one that's on Southwest Parkway, right there by the.
And we don't all have Stanfield money to be able to afford $4 for a glass of tea.
Do you don't ever go in there?
HTO.
You do go in there?
So I used to be a big tea drinker. I gave up tea, but I'm a lemonade. I think they have lemonade, right?
They have it. I like theirs better than I do 7 Brew, but the HT to go. But they've got a caramel macchiato. They got a horchata there.
At HTO?
Yeah.
I thought it was just like tea and lemonade.
No, they have horchatos. They have iced coffees and stuff, but they have a horchata. That's pretty damn good. That rice milk with cinnamon in it. Pretty damn tasty.
Rice milk.
Yeah,
Boy,
we got a
you
mix.
are showing
We got a mix.
Lord.
Well, hold on.
Your vag is showing.
We got a
Do you
Jeff.
sit down to pee?
Yeah.
We
Starting to
got
wonder.
a Mexican lady that works for us,
Good
and she
Lord.
makes Mexican oatmeal. Is what I call it.
Mexican oatmeal.
It's rice with milk and vanilla. She uses real vanilla sticks in it. Shit is freaking awesome, and that's what horchata tastes
I'm
like.
gonna tell you one thing the Hispanic community can do very well is cook.
Oh fuck, yeah, they can.
They can freaking.
And
cook.
I got 3 of them that work out here for
There's
us.
some ladies that work at the Quick Stop in Windthorst. It's the best quesadilla you'll ever eat in the United States. I'm gonna tell you, but it's 2 little Mexican ladies back there, and it's a damn greasy, oily, drippy. It's nasty,
good food.
Way to eat
but
it.
it is good.
We got our Penmans here in town. They've got sisters, is what they're called. There's 2 ladies, they're sisters, and we've known them forever. And they do breakfast burritos, and they make pico de. Is it pico?
Pico de
Pico
gallo.
gallo. Oh yeah,
That
put some pico on
no,
there.
no. It's not pico. It's pico something else, but it's hamburger meat, onions, potatoes,
Piccadilly.
Piccadilly. And they make a breakfast burrito with
Here
that
in
shit.
town?
Oh fuck yeah, it's damn good. But you walk in and they, Jeff, what's your fat ass want? I mean, they don't cut you no slack
You
when you go in
tell
there.
them, yeah.
They talk some shit to you, but they are
They
good.
screw that diet up.
Yeah,
don't they?
one of the ladies has got a little hair problem like I do, but she's a twin, and boy, her brother-in-law's going to tell her this.
As
shit.
in bald?
Pretty close.
Okay.
And they're he's going to fuck with her about
Well, at least
this.
it won't get in the burrito.
Well, she's got a twin brother that was who passed away from cancer, and when he took chemo, they're identical twins. Her hair fell out. True story.
Promise.
Promise you.
That's crazy.
Yep,
It's
she's
crazy.
bald as shit, bald as Telly Savalas. But when he took chemo, her hair fell out,
Wild.
I wonder how.
and she talks some shit too, boy.
Yeah.
Because she's going to give me shit about this anyways, but I don't really care because she's going to talk shit about
she
me.
knows
anyways.
you well enough.
Oh yeah,
She should
but
expect it.
but her hair fell out when he took chemo. Crazy as shit. Somebody's going to say, "Oh bullshit." I'm telling you right now, Andy, you're not a bullshitter. Am I telling the truth?
He's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. Is it frustrating for you? Like we saw the almond milk craze. Like it seems like every 10 or 15 years, the dairy industry like takes a hit in the meat. There's like this alternative way of getting milk.
That's always going to happen. I've got good friends from California that are in the dairy business that have large dairies, and I asked them one time. I said, "Man, this almond milk kind of sucks," and they're like, we're not going to complain. I'm like, why? He said, well, we have almond orchards too. So they've kind of learned to diversify into that alternative market. It's I don't want to say it's a fad. It's kind of like the fake meat. You know, that fake meat went to shit. Everybody thought it was going to be the new deal. And now they've got, lab processed meat or something that we're
lab-grown
fighting.
meat.
That's not, I mean, it's
not
not
meat.
going to have, it's cardboard. If you look at it, if you think that's what you want to eat or that's what you want to put in your butt, get after it. I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm anti almond milk or something like that.
I
I've
am.
never tried it, but to me, my only complaint, here's my only complaint, don't call it milk.
Yeah.
Call it almond drink.
It's freaking
It's just ground
almond
almond
ground
and
with water.
I mean, but what is the most expensive damn nut you buy at the store? Is an almond.
Almond.
So how the hell are they making this almond at a reasonable price? It should not be able to compete with regular milk.
If you really wanted into some government bullshit, it's the water industry in California and the almond farms.
Well, yes.
Dude, when you was up there, did you not see all them
Politicians.
some bitches everywhere? Like Sacramento, that area, all them they're cutting out all that shit to plant for almonds.
Fresno. So I was in Fresno. I was right in the middle of it. When you're in Fresno, it's all flood irrigated.
Yeah.
A lot of almond trees. But they actually feed almond holes to the dairy cows out there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They say it's pretty good. You can only feed so much of it. to
And
them,
that's the
but
crappiest of all the nuts too. Cashew's a whole lot better.
I don't know. I'm an almond guy.
I'm not an almond
Salted
guy,
almond.
and I damn sure ain't drinking
chocolate almond
milk.
ice cream is the best ice cream on the market now.
Chocolate, I've never had that.
Oh, at Brahms.
I don't go
Chocolate
to almond. I don't go there much, but it's hard to pass up Rocky Road.
But yeah, I don't know about the almond. I'm not going to complain about almond. Just don't call it milk. You know, it's just like meat. Don't call it meat if you grew it in a damn lab.
Is oat milk the same as
Same
almond
kinda-
milk?
Same
It's
kind of
just
thing.
like
It's
a
just made out
paste
of oats instead
and
of
water.
I guess.
And they got to mix some coconut in it to get people to buy the shit.
You mix enough shit in it to make it taste good. Somebody's going to try it.
Turn it white and call it milk.
Yeah, I mean, when you have to imitate something to make
Yeah.
it sell,
Right.
what are you doing?
It's like 2% milk. I'm not a.
Hey,
I'm not
it's a big deal now. We got whole milk in schools, and it's going to happen. I mean, it's already been signed.
Whole
That's
milk?
what RFK's
Yes.
preaching right now is whole milk.
When I like cereal. That's when I would milk because I like to eat cereal. I like whole milk. I don't
do
want no
too.
fucking watered down chalk in my cereal. I want whole milk.
I do too.
And I'm
it's
glad
a
to see it's
shame
coming back.
that we introduce milk to kids in school and we give them the worst possible milk that there is.
2%?
We give them, well, no, it's not. It's like 1% or fat free or whatever.
Yeah.
Skim milk shit.
But skim milk. But what I never understood, whole milk itself is less than 4% fat. Most milk that comes to the market, if you look at a jug, it's like 3.6 or 3.8% fat, unless it's Jersey milk. What the hell's? Why are we worried about 2% versus 3.5% or 4?
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
That don't make sense.
I don't think my 3.5% fat milk is making your kid fat.
No.
You know, it's the fat that he sits on his ass when he gets home. You're not making him work or do anything.
The resurgence with butter is what I like because we go to eat at a restaurant in Abilene. They make homemade butter.
Get some whole butter.
I'm telling you right now,
real butter.
That's the way to go. Fuck
It
that
is.
crock or whatever the hell that
Country
shit.
crock.
Country
It's
crock.
the same
Real butter, and it's not hard to make. There's a guy that's a coon ass that used to be on one of the Gator shows, and he's got a YouTube channel or shit. And he was making homemade butter, and he used a mason jar and put cream in it.
I'm gonna bet it was good stuff.
I bet it was very
Yeah.
good. I'll see him at Turkey. I'm going to ask him about it because he's there every year.
When you talk about turkey, where are you talking
Turkey
about?
convention. We're going to Nashville.
That's coming
To the
up.
t-
Did y'all
yes.
go last year? I remember you talking about it.
Last year we got weathered out. We got
Okay.
stuck at Abilene and our plane broke down.
No, we got stuck in DFW.
DFW for 6 hours.
That's what it was.
We
I
flew back
remember the
home.
story. Y'all
Yes.
talked about it.
But we go to Turkey convention. We leave. I leave tomorrow. I'll fly out tomorrow.
They just finished CattleCon out there, so they had the cattle producers convention
At the
Nashville
Gaylord?
last week. I don't know where it
This
was.
is at Opryland there. It's a hell of a show. It's a good show. But anyways, he'll be there and I'm going to ask him about that. But he takes his mason jar and he puts whipping cream in there and some salt or something and just shakes the son of a bitch around and stuff. And it turns out a big old slab of fucking butter.
My sister-in-law makes her own butter. I got some like a year ago.
You like it?
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah, the shit's good. The Vagabond pizza
Came in like I think she covered it with like maybe wax paper or something like that. I'm trying to think of how she stored it or got it to us, but yeah, it was really, really good.
Vagabond Pizza in Abilene. They have bread. We went and eat with a friend of our granddaughter's other grandparents. We go eat with them all the time at games. They said, let's go to Vagabond Pizza. I like pizza. Real kind of niche pizza.
Vagabond?
Vagabond.
Vagabond.
And they said,
Vagabond.
They said, oh, we ordered appetizers. Oh, good. I didn't care. And they said, we got bread and butter. I thought, that's fucking appetizer, bread and butter. Dude, they bring that butter out there with that bread.
Yeah.
And every time we go there now, I get butter to go home.
Yeah.
It is so good. But it's just some kind of compound butter they make themselves. Homemade butter. But I think that's going to be something that you're going to start seeing more and more of in the future.
You see it in store, like United Market Street and stuff. They've got different varieties of dairy products and stuff like that. And there's some niche markets where they charge a lot of money for some of that butter
Yeah.
and cheese at what do they call it? Fancy cheese.
That
shit.
Kerry
I don't
Gold
know.
cheese that they make is really good, and it's pretty expensive.
That's
I think.
from Ireland, Jeff. You're paying
That
for
shit's
freight.
good though. That sharp cheddar they have is. I like United Market Street.
I like pepper cheese. You give me that
Montgomery?
jalapeno pepper
Or
cheese.
the
in
Monterey
there.
Jack with
Yes,
pepper?
with peppers in there. God, that makes a good sandwich,
What do you see beef prices going to in the future?
So
'Cause it's
crazy.
I like my steak.
Yeah, we're at historic highs right now. Now, it's crazy how Trump can just say something and the beef market will change. And when I say beef market, I'm talking about the futures market that trades on the exchange. But back in October, he just said something about opening up imports from Argentina, and we dropped about 10% on the futures market there just overnight. Boom, just because he said something. Now, I haven't looked at it today. I should have on the way over here. But cattle futures, the feeder cattle futures, Friday, he said something about quadrupling the imports from Argentina. That sounds like a big deal, but we don't. What we import from Argentina is such a small percentage of what we consume in the United States. It shouldn't really matter, but you've just got, I don't know, the public hears things or the media hears things, and it's kind of a false scare about what's going to happen to things. I don't know what's going to happen. We're at historic highs.
It's 367 today.
Okay, that should be flat then.
Yeah.
Something about the United States, people just keep buying it. We like our meat here in the United States. There's been kind of a scare with the pork industry. There was a swine flu thing that just happened. So the pork availability is down just a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen. You talk to any cattleman And we have feeder cattle too, beef cattle too. We would have told you a year ago that we've hit the ceiling and it's not going to go any higher, and all we've done is going up since then. I don't know what the hell's going on. Another big thing is we've got the border shut down from Mexico. We're not importing any cattle from Mexico right now. And there was Sid Miller. He likes to mouth off, but he was saying some numbers the other day. But it was a significant amount of cattle that come in from Mexico every year, and they've shut that off due to the New World screwworm.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you want beef prices to go down, you have me buy something in it, because I bought a bunch of crypto, and that fucking shit is at Rod. It's terrible. Just depressing to see it.
Did you ever have cows with screwworms? Have you ever seen it?
So I've never seen it. My dad talks about it from when he was young. My dad's 86. Yeah, they talk about it from back then. What's crazy is our normal traditional practices here should take care of it. The ivermectin that you hear about that people are using, it's a wormer.
Right.
It's heavily used in the cattle industry. Supposedly it works for this New World screwworm. So I don't know. We'll find out. The thing is what do they call it? The black swan. I use a guy, a local guy in Windthorst there for price protection, for milk price, feed price, cattle price. And I asked him the other day, I said, what's it going to take to break this cattle market? And he said, black swan. Black swan. Black swan is something that is not seen, that is completely outside of our element, that's going to break the market. And I said, like mad cow disease or New World screw. Nope, it's going to be something we never saw coming that's going to break it. I don't know what that is.
Don't know when it's going to happen either.
Yeah, we don't. Take the coronavirus 5 years ago. That was the black swan that screwed everything up for us right there. It screwed our whole economy up. You know, I don't know if it's going to be that. It's going to be something, we think, because the cattle inventory is not here to support what the United States wants.
Is the beef prices in Mexico pretty cheap right now?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Because if they don't have no market to sell to, that's the problem with the economy. These people, these other countries all the time, screw the United States, we don't need them. Bullshit, you do.
Yeah, they do.
We're the most gluttonous people in the world. You have to have our economy if you sell anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering what the Mexican beef prices are, because if they can't ship something over here, they've got to be a flooded market, because that was a big market.
So in the United States, and remember, I'm not a true beef guy. There's a lot of guys that have a lot more beef than me, but the number that they look at to kind of see where we're headed for beef prices is percentages of heifers in feed yards. Okay, so if a heifer goes to a feedlot in West Texas or Kansas or what have you, she's going to slaughter. She's not going there to
ain't a vacation.
She's going to slaughter. Okay, so when the number of heifers in feed yards is elevated, that means there's less heifers out in the country to produce calves, to grow the market. So our heifer inventory is down across the country, and it's up in the feed yard. And it's staying there. So we're not going to replace the cattle market like what they say is going to take to break this market.
A cattle guy here told me it's going to take 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Is what he said. He said that's probably a quick fix, the 3 to 5.
So you're somewhat familiar with the oil industry. There's been times in the 80s and 70s and maybe even in the 90s when, man, oil's high and it's going to stay high forever, right?
Yeah.
And we all know that's bullshit. It's going to crash. Same thing's going to happen with the cattle market. When cattle get high, we all think, it's going to stay there for several. And I'm not saying he's wrong. Don't get me wrong. We don't know.
He says it's going to take 3 to 5 years for the replacements to fill back, to make it come down just on a demand deal.
One thing we all agree on is it will crash. We just don't know when. And we don't know what's going to cause it. I don't think opening the Mexico border is going to do it. It's going to knock the market back some, because they're going to flood us with a couple 100,000 or maybe several 500,000 head immediately going to hit the market.
When you watch a show like anything and it's talks about food, how much stuff. I watched a deal the other day or recently, and it was an aircraft carrier and how much food they have on that aircraft carrier. And I was thinking, that's a lot of fucking chickens people have to raise just to feed that aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
People don't realize how much food we consume in this country.
And we're fat asses.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Time.
Our society, we're obese as a nation.
And it ain't from eating just beef and vegetables.
If we go to war, we're in trouble because we're not going to make it. But I mean, just like we went out to eat when I was a kid, but we ate at home a lot.
Yeah, we eat out more than we ever did as a kid. We
always go out to eat now, and I think everybody does. Everybody goes out to eat, and where do we go out to eat? We go out and eat a good hamburger or a good steak or a good chicken fry. We go out and we eat the good stuff.
Yeah, my wife's a great cook, and we eat out all the time.
Yeah.
And
I recently saw this generation, the generation of kids, sushi is the new thing for this generation of kids.
Pisses
And
me off.
you look at how expensive like this little sushi roll
Yep.
is. Like,
What are your boys' favorite place to go?
they love sushi. Yeah, they like sushi.
My
But
kids all order sushi when we go to Samurai, and I don't eat it. I'm not a sushi guy.
that's good. It's good. You gotta get some with they have some with fillets on it.
That's probably right.
I had a beef one somewhere. So I like California rolls, but the other shit is just not my cup of tea. But my grandkids, that's their favorite place we go eat.
I recently saw that barbecue places are boarding up left and right because brisket is so high.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they
I
can't,
mean, you go to any barbecue place and you walk in, it's $20 a person.
Yeah.
For sure to eat lunch, and
Yep.
unless you order like a burrito and water or
Right.
something like that. I mean, I love going to Hard Eight in Stephenville, but I quit going there. Shit, it's $25 every time, and I think I'm gonna hold back. But you know, Hard Eight's got it figured out because they walk in and you see it. Have you eaten there, Hard Eight? In
I've never
Stephenville?
been there.
Oh, you got to try it once. They've got it figured out.
I had a guy bring us a bunch last
But you
year.
walk in and you walk past the grill and all the meat's sitting there on the grill and you say, okay, I want two slices. Well, give me one of those. And they're just throwing it off the grill on your plate and they sell it to you by the pound. And you walk in and you slap your fat ass plate on the damn scale and you're like, holy shit.
It's $37.
But the beans are free, you know? It's like, well, appreciate the free beans.
I think they've replaced barbecue joints have replaced brisket now with Boston butts, haven't they? With pork
I don't know.
butts.
I just saw that barbecue places. I think COVID had a lot to do with barbecue because you had the introduction of the Traeger. People were at home more, so I think a lot of people took an interest into slow cooking meat, and you didn't have anything else to do during COVID. And I think that's kind of gone away. Brisket was a relatively cheap cut of meat, and now it is not.
There's a barbecue place in Windthorst that does an excellent job. It's good barbecue. But you know, barbecue is something you can't eat every day. If you ate barbecue for lunch every day, you'd just
my
be
God.
miserable.
No way.
We got a really good barbecue joint. But something else that's interesting that's talked about on the beef thing is the United States in the use of Ozempic. What is it, GLP-1s or
Yes.
whatever?
Mhm. Yep.
They talk about how that's changed the eating habits of our country, that there's such a high percentage of people taking these damn things, and now it's fixing to come out in pill form.
Yeah.
Now, these are things that I read about in beef magazines and beef emails.
Do
and
those
stuff.
people not eat beef?
I don't know. I think it's just
They can't eat as much.
they can't eat as much. It's really going to change your eating habits.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to a relative of mine that has taken GLP-1, and he's like, as soon as you think you might be full,
You better quit.
you better quit, or you're already 2 bites too far. So like, if you even get that sense of I'm a little bit full, you better stop now because you will throw up.
Who would have thought, though, that a drug like that would have been talked about in the beef industry about
Right.
eating habits amongst the United States? But I doubt it's going to really slow us down. But when it goes to pill form, you're probably going to see, and it's going to get cheap.
Yeah,
I saw something on Fox News the other day that Trump's trying to get this online drugstore or something where you can
It's gonna
buy.
be like $20, and now people are paying $1,000.
Yeah. Everybody's going to be on it if you can get it
tell
that
you-
cheap.
we did a did you know before we got here. One of mine was airlines are going to save $580 million annually. Oops, dropped my phone because everybody's on GLP-1.
So don't weigh as much.
The weight.
Yeah, they're gonna save it. They're gonna save $580 million in fuel. I've got it right here.
Now, if that isn't a sign that our country's got a
We are
problem.
the fattest fuckers in the world. You look at it. I love old movies made in the 60s and 70s.
There
I like
wasn't obese people
Fuck
on those.
no.
Were there?
I watched the other day and I saw one. Hell, when I was a kid growing up playing kid sports, everybody could wear the same uniforms.
Yeah.
There wasn't very many fat kids.
There was only like 2 sizes of uniform.
Yes.
You got
Yeah.
a regular one or just a little bit bigger than regular.
There wasn't very many kids wearing husky jeans.
No.
There was not very much of that going on.
No,
in
but
the
you know,
world.
even the generation before us, when you don't have air conditioning and all that stuff,
Yeah.
you're not going to be overweight
Fuck
back in
no,
the
sweat your ass
40s,
off.
50s, and 60s.
Or but you had to work.
Yes.
You know, you was talking about jet fuel or fuel a minute ago.
it was $580 million.
I just read a minute ago, Canadian Airlines are not flying into Cuba because Cuba doesn't have any jet fuel right now. That's
saw-
that's the next country it's fixing to flip.
They've already said Trump's taking it over.
They have no jet fuel. They have no fuel or nothing at all down there. So Canadian Airlines, if you've got a trip booked to Cuba right now, they're not flying in today because there's
So
no
do
jet
people
fuel there.
travel to Cuba
I
for
would.
vacation
In
purposes?
from people that don't have a embargo against them.
I would. We were going to go a couple years ago because Southwest Airlines was flying down there for a little bit, and then they quit doing it.
There were
I
two
would love to
countries
go
that
there.
Trump just said he was going to take over. Cuba was one of them.
In Greenland.
No, it was in addition to Greenland. It was Cuba, and there was another place that he said he was going to take for national security reasons.
Cuba's going to fall anyways. They've said that's fixing to happen. They're upside down. But if you have no jet fuel and people can't get in there or get out, you're killing your.
So what would be a positive? What's the reason for us to want to take over Cuba?
So Jeff could go on vacation there.
Yeah, other than it's a neighboring country.
It's 90 miles away, and it's another. It was an American paradise in the 20s and 30s. Did you know a story on it? So back in the 30s, it's where all the mafia members and stuff. That's where they all had their casinos and stuff. It was the Vegas.
Cuba.
And then Batista went in there and he overthrew the government, but he still he was the dictator, but he still was doing business with the Chicago and the New York mobs. And that's where they were laundering all their money and stuff. And then Castro came in and Batista got booted out, and he wasn't in with the United States. He got in with Russia. And that's when the Bay of Pigs and all that shit happened. And that was like 61, 62 or something.
And that's when Kennedy was.
Right. And that's why the Cubans are Republicans and not Democrats, because they thought JFK backstabbed them on the Bay of Pigs, and he didn't. He went with the Castro instead of the people over there, and that's why there was a big bunch of people that thought that the Cuban mafia was in on JFK being assassinated.
Cost him his life.
But that area down there is a beautiful area. It's just another place like Puerto Rico.
There was another thing I saw. So they got the JFK decided he was going to sign the embargo on Cuba, and he had his right-hand man or whatever. He said, go get all the Cuban cigars that you can get me. All of them. As many as you can get tonight. Next morning, 8 o'clock, guy comes in. He said, what'd you find? He's like, I bought every one I could find. I think it was like 1,200 or 12,000. I can't remember. Zeros play hell on me. He said, okay. Opened his desk drawer, took out the piece of paper, embargo on Cuba. JFK signed it. But he got all of his Cuban cigars.
Take care of the Kennedys first.
That's right. Rules for me, but not for thee.
You can go to Cuba from Mexico, Jamaica. There's a lot of different countries that go there.
But you can't from the U.S. right now.
I think you still can go there from the U.S. I don't know if you can get an airplane back now with jet fuel. I would love to go there. I mean, hell, but have you been to Puerto Rico?
You can probably take a cheap boat ride off Florida.
Yeah,
on the way back.
90 miles.
Kind of a back haul.
Have you been to Puerto Rico?
No, I have not.
A beautiful place. And they say Cuba's just the same way, just beautiful natural beauty and stuff. I'd like to go there. I'd like to go see all the old cars and all this stuff.
So we've done some of those cruises down there, my wife and I. But when I was in high school, I was 16 years old. My mom and dad and another couple took me and my brother and two other kids. We were 16s and 18s and went to Acapulco. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget, and the reason I was thinking about this, I heard one of y'all earlier podcasts talking about how crazy it is to go driving around in these countries.
I did that shit.
Yes. My mom and dad, we rented two Jeeps when we get to Acapulco, one for the kids and one for the adults. And they gave us 4 high school boys a damn Jeep in Acapulco and said, now y'all boys stay out of trouble.
Oh, wow.
Down there. And we drove around Acapulco in a damn Jeep. We got stopped, and the cop for $20 let us go.
Wow.
Of course, we had beer. What the hell you think high school kids are going to do in Acapulco? There's no drinking age. But my mom and dad went out in the country and drove around and got pulled over by the military or the militia or whatever the shit you call it. And they talked him out of it. But what the hell were we thinking?
What years was that?
That would have been in 88.
If you look back,
summer of 88.
We did the same thing. I'm going to guess it was probably 89 or 90, but we were in the mountains around Puerto Vallarta. Did the same shit, which is just north of Acapulco, because Acapulco's a no-go zone now because it's the cartel. Nobody goes there anymore.
Yeah, it was a big.
That used to be the place to go. That was the number one place.
That's on the west side, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it got replaced by Cabo, but we'd go to Puerto Vallarta, but we drove around. If you watch back and you watch Narcos Mexico or any of those documentaries,
I have watched those.
Those places, that's where all that shit was going on, all the killing and crap.
And I don't think they were worried about.
No, they weren't when I was
Americans.
there either. But looking back now, we went to some places nowadays.
You would definitely wouldn't let your kids go do that.
You know why they quit making Narcos Mexico? The people started getting killed that were the scouts trying to find places to film and shit down there.
Really?
The cartels and shit wiped them out.
I tell you, one of the craziest stories I've heard on y'all's podcast was the hunting guide
Oh, that
from
went down there?
Mexico,
Yes.
talking
Got
about being
gold
on
suit.
top of that mountain.
Yeah.
And that old boy tapping him on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I would shit
Oh.
my pants.
And then the guys wanted to kill the big mule deer, and he's got
Yeah.
on a gold jogging suit and gold chains and shit.
You can get a flight to Cuba out of Abilene.
What's
How
it
much
cost?
is it?
$582 round trip. Abilene to DFW to Miami to Havana. So you can do it, Jeff.
That's a bargain. I think you ought to go.
You
Jeff.
might not be able to get back if
How much
they don't
was
have
it?
jet fuel. $582 round trip.
That's cheaper than you can fly to Vegas.
I'm telling you right now, I would go down there but the problem is finding a place to stay. A buddy of mine, I messaged him about all this. I would love to go down there. I would just give me 3 days, and I would love to go to Cuba and just see it. I would.
Yeah, you're crazy.
I like going places out of the beaten path. I want to go to places that,
Have you been to Russia?
It is a communist country now,
No,
Jeff.
and I don't. The flight's too fucking long.
This is going to take 24 hours to get there.
Why?
Yeah, it's a hell of a layover, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Why is
It's,
it a 24-hour flight?
No. Yeah, layovers.
mean-
This one's the one that is 582. It is 24 hours and 25 minutes.
Where do you go to?
DFW in Miami.
I just catch it. Look and see what a trip from Miami to Cuba is. Well, it'd be a lot better because you can fly to Miami 15 times a
Yeah,
day.
from DFW, there's a flight all the time.
And so you don't have to do the 24-hour deal. Just check and see what a flight from Miami to Cuba is. There's two places.
you think maybe they got the duck boats down there off the coast of Miami?
There you go.
Take
Just
it
take
down
one of
to
them little
Cuba.
ducks. I've been to. There's not very many places I haven't been to. I haven't been to Key West.
Hour and a half.
I haven't been to the Pueblos.
Hour and a half.
An hour and a half from Cuba.
Miami to Havana.
Or is there a lot of flights available? What's the price?
347 if you can just get to Miami.
That's a
You gotta-
bargain.
That's an easy deal.
You can't. You have to do that.
Let me know how it goes, Jeff.
Get your affairs in order before you go.
Yeah, remember what I told you. You get kidnapped and I ain't coming after
I
you.
told you I don't want you to come get my ass.
Speaking
not-
of kidnap, this,
go there.
this Guthrie lady in Savannah Guthrie's mama. Isn't that-
What's your opinion?
I've been trying. I from the start, I thought it was some kind of an inside job, either a family
With
member,
the brother-in-law then.
well, or something. It's not a random dude that drove up and kidnapped her.
I would agree on that part.
I think it's going to be a connection to the family somehow.
You think cartel's involved?
It may be the landscaper, it may be the cool pool guy or something. But it's going to be
so somebody that's been around her.
somebody
you think?
associated with the family or her. I think is
Do
going
you
to be
think the
involved.
drug cartels
and
are
I'm gonna feel
involved?
like shit if it's not, but I don't think so.
You don't think so? They say that the
Well, why Savannah Guthrie? I mean,
Well-
if you're going to,
because she makes $10 million a year.
well, yeah,
But
there's
the cartel's
a
got
lot
a
wealthier
lot
people down there.
There are, but the cartel has gotten. How much of this has gone on? We don't know about.
Oh, a lot. I think there's a ton we don't know about. What you talking about? This story or others?
Kidnappings.
I don't know.
We talked about this because Andy wasn't he's not been in tune on this. Here's my thoughts on the deal. From what I've read, is the ransom notes and stuff are really, really technologically
ChatGPT.
big time. Well,
And they only send it to TMZ, right?
no. The family's been getting. But from what I read today, the FBI said it's very complex. So it's not like Chico the gardener is writing a letter down on a piece
Yeah,
of paper.
but they talked about ChatGPT. If you could tell it what you want it to say, and it'll spit out a perfect punctuated story.
And well, they're not talking about the spelling. They're talking about wanting the money and stuff is really complex.
Well, they said this morning they wanted that ransom money in U.S. dollars. So
so it wasn't chat. It's not crypto then.
well, this latest one was U.S. dollars. The first one I thought I heard was crypto, but why would they mention U.S. dollars? So that
makes me think it's Mexican.
That's why they think in Mexico now.
Yeah, that's
too.
why I'm thinking
So,
cartel. I don't think they're going to find the lady. I think she's dead.
How far is Tucson from the border?
An hour and a half, maybe an
Okay,
hour.
90 miles or so.
I don't know. I haven't been to Tucson very
It's
many
just a
times.
crazy story.
Yeah,
Who
but
would have thought we'd be talking about Savannah Guthrie's mom?
I didn't even know who Savannah Guthrie was until all this shit happened.
But I guess from what I have gathered, like they found blood in her apartment. She's
Yes.
on life dependent medicine. She's
probably
got
dead already.
She's got a pacemaker. Like they left her medicine. They left all of her medicine behind. She's on the pacemaker. They took the pacemaker out because I guess you can track it. If
No, they didn't take it out. They disconnected it.
disconnected
it. So is it still working?
Yeah, but she's not. It's not on her. Her phone had it.
syncs
Like a
to-
Fitbit.
Yeah.
Syncs to her phone, and they said it's not unlikely that it would sync to
The
the daughter's phone or something like that, so they can see it or the doctor.
But that right there would tell you that these people knew who she was. Like they'd been tracking her for a while. Like if I just take an old lady off the street, I'm not going to know, oh shit,
Yeah.
her heart rhythm is also going to cell phones, and the data's being stored by
and
a daughter.
her daughter's worth millions.
Right. So
It's 70 miles to the border from Tucson,
Okay, that's not.
which is not. You can take a freaking drone and hook her.
They could have
old
had her
ass
there
up.
before daylight.
Yeah.
Because
Because she overnight, I think at 2:00 in the morning they done it, but yeah, she would be gone. But crossing the border is not easy.
But the odds of her dying is pretty high.
I would say really good. Andy said just let her die. He didn't care. She's old, 85.
Well, that ought to tell you he's not paying your ransom.
that's why I just said if you go to Cuba, remember what we talked about earlier with Savannah Guthrie, because I don't know what's the ransom, $5 million or whatever.
Andy goes, she's 85. She only got 5 years left. That's not worth it.
No, I said let's say she does go 5 years. You're paying $1 million a year for your mother. Is she worth that investment? I say no.
If Jeff gets kidnapped,
He's 58. He's
Andy, are you going to pay?
85.
Well, he was a good guy.
He was a good guy.
I told him don't do it. I said, don't pay them motherfuckers a dime. I got life insurance. Y'all take my life insurance. I'm good. I've had a good life.
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to pay him.
I'll go 50 grand.
You don't
That's
pay
about
him.
it.
Yeah,
Fuck that. Don't give them some bitches that
You're
money.
gonna deal.
I'm
with
a
them?
barter.
Yeah.
I'll barter with
Anybody
him.
that's listening here thinking about kidnapping my ass for money, you're fucked. They're not getting you any money. Don't give them no money. Don't give them a dime.
50 grand.
50 G's is as high as I'll go.
Bullshit. Don't give them a dime.
Okay.
They can
And he's
kill
taking
you.
that out of the grandkids'
You said it.
savings.
You
Yeah,
said
they can
it.
kill me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Don't take. I'm telling you right now. Don't give them a dime.
Like I said, you'd be getting off lucky if
There
they
was a
just
reason
straight
the
up
United
kill you.
States did not give in to terrorists for years, because once you give in to them,
Yes.
you got to give in to them over and over again.
So you want me to tell them that whenever I
Fuck
get the
yeah.
ransom note?
Yeah, you tell them,
We
hell no.
do not negotiate with terrorists. Keep his ass.
Yes, you don't give them a dime. That's the problem there. Now, that's easy to say when I'm talking about myself.
Yes.
If it was one of my kids or my grandkids, I'd be a different story.
That's the thing is why kidnap an 85-year-old lady?
Yeah.
Why not kidnap Savannah Guthrie? Why
Yeah.
not kidnap, one of the grandkids or something? I mean, it's
That would be more appealing to the
Yes.
country too. Here it is. It's an 85-year-old lady. I feel horrible for the lady. I don't know nothing about her. But she's 85 fucking years old.
Yeah.
And sadly, she's lived 7 years longer than the average person does. And old people like me think it's sad, but that's the end of it. It's an 8-year-old kid, whole different ball game. Then the whole United States military is involved probably.
so. My mom is 84. My mother-in-law is 84, 5, something like that. And I'm thinking they probably wouldn't live this long unless they're
Something-
well taken care of.
My mom is 81 years old, and she couldn't be this long without her medicine.
I'm saying
It's not going to happen.
the stress or the worry,
Yes.
something would have got them
Yeah.
by now.
She's dead.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yep.
If they don't get proof of life, I don't think they will.
Yeah. She's dead. I hope that the brother-in-law's not involved in this, because this would be so fucking stupid.
Well, it's almost sad if either way, because he's been painted as a potential.
If they don't find her body, he'll always be the guy that killed her.
Yeah, kind of like John Benet Ramsey's
Yes.
dad. That son of a bitch did it.
Yeah. Well, there's another one there. That's something that's never solved.
Never has. And if you watch those documentaries, it's all. And she's in the house the whole damn time.
Yeah, I think the brother killed her.
I think somebody in the family.
Yeah, but this old lady, I don't think they'll ever find a body, or they'll 10 years from now you'll hear about it. Oh, they found her body out. Some guy's jogging, found it out on a mountainside or some shit. I think that she's gone. The perfect crime ever on a kidnapping was the guy that owns the Mirage Casino, Steve Wynn. His daughter got kidnapped.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure my facts are going to be wrong. I get fact checked on everything I did. This is what I've read and what I've been told for years. So I'm going to go with this story.
Great place to stay, by the way.
Yeah. Steve Wynn, when he owned the Mirage, which was he was the CEO of, is a publicly traded company. His daughter lived in a gated community. She took her kid to school. She pulls up to a stop sign. A guy jumps in the car with a gun after she dropped her kid off, and told her to drive somewhere. Then put her in the floorboard. He drove off. They called Steve Wynn at his office. Said, "Hey, kidnapped your daughter. We want $10 million, whatever it was." She talked to her dad and told him they got to make it $10 million. So he went down in the vault at the Mirage and got a pallet full of cash, $10 million, and took it to a strip mall somewhere in northern Vegas or somewhere and left it. The guys got the money. They brought the daughter back. Perfect crime. Then one of the guys decided he needed to buy a brand new Maserati that was fucking working at McDonald's or something for $300,000 in cash and did that. That's how they caught the guys.
Yeah.
Them guys would have never got caught. If they'd have just moved to New York City, they'd have never been
above
caught.
Your means.
Yeah,
Something's
just stupid. But it's hard. Kidnapping's not something, and they didn't hurt the lady or kill the lady or nothing. They wanted the money, but they did the perfect crime, except for the part of don't go spend your fucking money. Go
So what
somewhere
should
else.
you ask for if you don't ask for money? Should
No,
you ask for
no.
gold?
No,
or
he
should-
got cash.
I understand
but
that, but cash nowadays is traceable.
Yeah, but if you're just spending cash somewhere, you
Dropping
can
100 at a time, you should
yeah,
be okay.
you could do 1,000 at a time and they'll be okay. But when you start buying cars on cash and shit,
Yeah.
I saw where Rick Harrison, we talked this the other day on Pawn Stars, sold a car for $90,000. He bought a car for $90,000. The guy wanted gold. And so Rick Harrison paid him in gold. They had gold, and that car's worth $360,000 now. The
Yeah,
gold,
the
the
gold
gold
is.
is worth $360 now instead of the $90,000. But I couldn't kidnap anybody anyways. But I don't know how. It's today's world. It's hard to get by with anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
They had the wherewithal to disconnect their pacemaker. So
I mean,
they've been doing their homework.
thought about this, but
Yes.
But with a cell phone and stuff, it's so easy to ping. If anybody would have had their cell phone on them that was at that house, they could ping that.
Why can't we trace these emails? That's another thing. If
Because
they're emailing, I understand, but
If
with
I
today's
emailed
technology,
you off, yeah, but if I email you from here on a laptop, and then I send it somewhere else, it's not going to show where the email comes from. I don't think they have that capability.
I think they trace the Wi-Fi account or some shit,
Right.
or the router
like
number.
the IP address that
Yes.
it's connected to. I don't know.
I don't know either.
She's gone.
But you can go to 1,000 different Starbucks somewhere and sit in the parking lot. But there's
Use their
cameras
Wi-Fi.
everywhere,
Yeah.
and there's. I don't know how
It's
you
hard
can
to get
by
away
with
with shit nowadays.
Oh, it's not like back in the Bonnie and Clyde days.
Yeah.
You could get by with so much stuff back in the day that
they
you can't
did.
today.
They killed
did.
people.
Yes, they did. And you could. I mean, there wasn't radio, there wasn't phones like there are now. But with a cell phone, you do something immediately. It's the whole world can see it.
Who was the lady from Wichita Falls that got murdered
Which one?
back when you were young? What the hell was her name? Found her south of Wichita Falls.
Oh,
Terry
Terry Gibbs.
Terry Gibbs.
Yeah, we've talked about.
And then
all
there's another guy that man.
Keith Mann. He's
Keith
still.
Mann.
They've
never found.
But they
him.
didn't find a body, and there was. I mean, that's
nothing. They found nothing.
I don't even have a clue what happened. I'm assuming that he knew who killed him.
And that was in the 90s.
Yep.
You would
Right
think.
there by McNeil Junior High,
That's crazy.
and it has never found it. There's Wichita Falls has 3 or 4 unsolved mysteries still.
Never found him.
That's the thing too. If you're going to kill somebody, if you don't have a body, it's hard to do something without a body. So if you're going to kill somebody, you need to get rid of the body.
That's just terrible. I couldn't imagine losing someone.
Oh.
And never.
No closure.
Never.
It's terrible. His parents, after all these years, because I see something all the time. Because
Yeah.
I think it happened in January around Christmas or something. You'll see them. Hey, there's a disappearance. A reward.
It'll pop up on social media.
Yep. Somebody's got to know something. And I'm assuming that was probably a one-person deal, because if you get 2 people, someone's
They
going to
can't
talk.
keep quiet that long.
Yeah, one person. But but it happens all the time.
That's terrible.
Life's
imagine.
crazy, and that's a terrible way to. We have knocked up 2 hours of your time.
I cannot believe that. I just got here.
You've been a wonderful
Hold on.
guest. I appreciate it so much. I've learned a lot about the dairy business.
Well, drink more milk
Drink
if
more
you can.
milk.
I would appreciate it.
I'm gonna
Eat
go
more-
to Scotland and get raw milk. That's what I want.
Hey, I'll tell you, I'll put you in connection. That guy's he runs a good operation. I'd rather you buy regular milk, but heck, you can't.
I just never tried raw milk, so it's one of those.
So
things
his will
like-
be good. It's Jersey. Jersey cows are going to have a higher fat, a creamier type milk. It's going to be like melted ice cream.
So when I come through Scotland next time, you want me to grab
Gotta
a
go to
jug for
Scotland.
you?
Go to Jersey's. Go to Jersey's for me.
Does he sell it like roadside stuff or just?
No,
have
he's got a little store front on the farm.
Where at
there.
in Scotland?
He is east of Scotland.
Back towards the
Scotland
lake?
is towards the lake, about quarter mile
Okay, right there on the right side.
on the left side. Be on your left on the north
I mean,
side of the
on
highway.
on the.
It's
Yes.
Hager Family Farms. They have raw milk right there. It's good stuff, and they're good people, good kids. They got kids, little girls, and
I need
that
strong
help him do
bones.
all
People
that, so.
still fish at the bridges out there.
Oh yeah, you try to run over somebody. Be careful. They won't let them park on the bridge anymore, but they park on the end and walk out there, and there's a lot of fishing goes on that. We always called it the third bridge. That's the one
Yeah.
somebody would jump
Yes.
off of Miller Shores.
Yep.
There's still a lot of houses out there at Miller Shores.
You need to start drinking milk, Jeff. You
It's
got
okay.
osteoporosis in your near future, so
Yeah,
you
I
need
do.
strong
Starting
bones.
next week, I'll be a sore son bitch again.
Just drink
You
your
need
damn iced coffee. It'll have enough
strong
milk in it. We'll be all right.
Horchata.
Whatever.
Horchata
Oat milk. Drink your oat milk.
from HT to go.
Hey guys,
Excellent.
you have a good deal going here. I
Thank you
appreciate
very
you
much.
inviting me, and I love listening to your podcast. And keep it going. Don't stop. I think you got a great thing going here.
Well, we appreciate you being on here, and I enjoyed your family. Good people.
Thank you.
You went to a football game then, didn't you?
Yeah,
And jinxed the Aggies.
So I've got the odds of me going hunting again are a lot greater than the Aggies making the playoffs, more than likely. So
I thought they had the team.
I did too. 105,000 people at the game. We had it one, held them to 3 points there till the end. We had them, but that's part of it. I actually went to school in Lubbock at Tech,
That's the way to go.
but three of my boys are Aggies, so I kind of follow A&M. But I don't care. I think they're both schools as long as it's not that other
Who
school.
are you going to play for if A&M play?
Do what?
If A&M plays Tech, who are you pulling for?
I'll always pull for A&M just because my kids. So I've had three sons go to A&M. My youngest one's still there, but the two younger ones actually worked for the football team. They were on video crew, so my youngest is still part of the video crew at A&M. My third son, Gavin, he's graduated at A&M, and he's a grad assistant at OU, so he's doing the same thing at OU. He helps with any kind of technology for their football team, recruiting, anything they got
Their sports
going on.
information director hunted with us, and now he's at Nebraska now, right?
Don't get me
I think that's
lying.
when because Blake did that stuff there, but he's a sports information director at Nebraska, but he was at Oklahoma.
Their AD's retiring after this year, that Joe Castiglione or what. He's
Really?
been there like 30, 40, I mean, forever he's been there. So through all the Stoops years and
All the money,
all the way back to
all the money they spend at them schools is crazy.
It's unbelievable. I don't know how mid-sized colleges can keep an athletic department going. I don't know how North Texas, how Tarleton, how they keep it going, because every year I saw it on social media yesterday. North Texas lost like their entire football team. They had a very successful year, won a lot of games. They lost their coach and nearly every player to the portal. Just got to start over.
How much money do you think coach at North Texas makes?
$500,000.
That's what I figured. We think
I'm just
Morales makes
guessing.
in Eastern New Mexico $500,000.
Nah, probably less. 253.
Oh, I bet he makes more than that.
Is it
I
not-
don't
is it
know how they
public
can
yet?
afford it.
I don't mean either, because
They don't
all
have
the
TV
money is in the big
contracts.
schools.
Yeah, because that's where all the TV money is.
Yeah, and they're paying them $10 million for some of those college. I bet Kirby Smart's making $10 million. I bet.
How much?
Dumbass at LSU's making $10 million. So
Their new dumbass or their old dumbass?
their new one. Their old ones, I think, is a bigger dumbass, but I don't really care for either one of them.
Oh, Brian Kelly?
Yeah.
That's a terrible hire for them anyways.
This says 140 with performance incentives.
Is Art Briles is making?
Browse.
What's Midwestern's football coach making at MSU? You're on,
always move the
you got a brain.
goalposts.
I'm curious because
There's just no way he can make $100,000. I would think
who?
at Midwestern.
Oh,
State
he's
University.
making $250,000 a year at least.
You think so?
Has to be.
They don't bring any money in.
But Eastern New Mexico's paying him over $100,000. I mean, it's only paying. That's a smaller school.
They don't. Nobody.
Tarleton's coach makes $500,000 a year.
But Tarleton can sell the stadium out. I don't think MSU brings a crowd.
I'd been to Midwestern game in years.
I don't think they.
It says a very wild. No, that's. What's the guy's name?
Is it Maskill, their coach there?
It was. I think he just left.
Oh, I'm getting.
Haskell,
I think there might be a different
Midwestern State.
Midwestern. Yeah. Okay.
Midwestern.
The
University.
fucking whatever their team's name is ain't the Indians no more.
That's a shame.
Let's see.
I think that'll ever go back.
They should.
Why did we give in to Commanders instead of Redskins?
Because we're pussies.
It just doesn't make sense. I still call them the Redskins
I do too.
I can't find anything.
or the Foreskins.
The
Either one.
foreskin.
You can call them whatever you want to, but don't call them the goddamn Commanders.
Are you a Redskins fan?
Oh hell
He
yeah!
is.
Really?
My dad's first cousin was Billy Kilmer.
No
He was,
kidding.
yep. So I grew up being a coach salary.
So when I was a kid, I was a bit of a Redskins fan. I actually have a Washington Redskins blanket that I've had since I was a kid. That was in the Theismann days.
Well, you would have been right. The average, the head coach is making $240,000.
That's
The average salary for a football coach at Midwestern State University is approximately $73,000 per year. The highest reported salary at the for a coach at the university can reach up to $92,000. Additional, some coaches at Midwestern have earnings as $240,000, so that's what he's going to be as a head football AD. But it's like Wichita Falls; they don't pay shit for nothing.
it's one of the cheapest places to live in the United States, to tell you the truth. But
Well, you ain't
Wichita
going.
Falls.
You ain't going there to be a coyote anymore. So fuck them.
no. Uh-oh.
That shit wears me the hell out. All of them.
Somebody's not a leopard or a,
No, fuck that
Or a
shit.
Maverick
No,
fan.
hell no. I had a girl at United Market Street took my groceries out the other day, and I asked her. I said, "You go to school?" She goes, "Yes, sir." Real polite young lady. I said, "Where you go to school at?" She goes, "I go to Whichever one's on the east side of town.
I don't know which one's which.
Legacy, maybe.
Memorial and Legacy.
And I
don't know which one's
said,
which.
"Is that the Old High or the Rider?" She goes, She goes, "I was a coach." She goes, "I'll always be a coach." I said,
There
"Me
you
too."
go.
I said, "So do you like it there?" She goes, "It's not bad." She goes, "I think it's really stupid what they do." I said, "I think most people do too." She goes, "Yeah." She goes, There's no connection." I had a guy from their booster club call me, ask him to donate some money to them. It's like, if I got to give money to Holiday, Arch City, Windthorst, Henrietta, somebody I understand. I said, I don't even know. I have no connection to any of it.
It's changed. It's different.
Even in town, you don't see like it used to. And
so Old High was forever, right?
Yes.
It's the original.
115 years old.
Do you think there was a stir when Ryder was built?
Oh, I'm sure in the early 60s it was, but they had to. It was just gotten so, there was probably 4,000 students there. They had to grow it and stuff. The big stir back then is where you were going to draw the lines to where the good athletes went.
Yeah.
And Darren Water ended up going to Ryder and playing for Joe Bob there. And then the next big stir was when they closed Booker T. Washington, where Lawrence Williams and Ronnie Littleton were going to go to high school. And they went to Old High. But that's the way it was back then. It had to be. And so that's kind of the way it's that way everywhere. But you don't hear about it. What's happened in Wichita Falls does not happen at very many places where they close a school and throw away all their history. And you had three high schools. If you would have made it Ryder and Hershey and not Old High, I could have lived with that.
I think people would have gone for that.
But when you threw away all of them and started over, you've completely alienated everybody that grew up there that don't have a kid in school still.
So I guess the reasoning for not keeping the names were Hershey. They didn't want to piss Hershey off because it was going to close it no matter what. But it's still something.
I don't know what it is. But Ryder's a junior high. But when you threw all three of them away, you pissed on everybody everybody that grew up there has no reason to go back.
Just like Notre Dame. That's a joke.
I didn't understand why they closed that down either.
It was something.
But it was a private school. So
what the bishop got upset about and just shut her down and then tore the building down. You know what I mean? Yeah. Bulldozed the whole thing down.
What I always found was funny living here now and as I get older is that I remember when we were in early 20s, we would go play in a big softball tournament. They had their bazaar, whatever they called it. It was the Notre Dame fundraiser, in April or March or May. And we'd go there and play softball, and they'd have beer tents set up on the deal and shit.
Yes.
And Wichita Falls, a school, they ain't having no beer there.
They had like carnival set up.
Yes, it was a big time deal. We play softball, and you go over and get drunk, and had all kinds of shit. You don't do that at schools anywhere.
Well, we do that in Windthorst, and they do it in Munster. Yes. I promise you, we still do it there.
I've had great times in Munster, a lot of times doing shit. But that was the whole mindset. But Wichita Falls used to be that way. I mean, you go to Falls Fest, and Budweiser and them have a big beer tent set up, and everybody.
So at Windthorst, that church auction I was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
It'll bring $100,000, but we give away free beer, and that bumps it to $200,000.
There you go.
Hey guys, I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here. Y'all, thank y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all. Come by Nashville and see me and Andy. Andy said he'll drink whatever you buy him. Peace. Goodbye.
Never said that, but I hope to see you there. Watch for deer. Wrong one.